Hey, hey, hey! How we doing today, everybody? How's it going? Oof, man, look at me. I'm all screwed up here. Wasn't ready for all this business. Who's that? Hey, she's sleeping as usual. Anyway, what's up, everybody? How we doing? See who we got here today. We got Patrick Seven says, "What's up, nerds? Trumpinator coming in with $5 fast for the first goal of the evening, trying to get it all set up. Just please support Jim if you can. You're able to do so. None of your business. Good evening. How you doing? All right. What's up, Patrick Seven? Yes, yes. Trumpinator, Mr. K, Orthodoxy Mom. Sharon Tyler. What's up? What's up? What's up, people? Got a whole bunch of news for tonight to talk about. Yeah. This is Dave. Okay. All right. So I'm going to present me share screen here to get into the first story of the evening. Come on, come on. I just apologize to everybody because I'm making my new computer's taking a little bit longer for me to get used to than I would like. But hey, what's up? Happy Saturday night, Colorado Mountain Girl. How you doing? Gonna catch up later. You never noticed my vinyl collection? Yeah, I got a pretty decent vinyl collection back there. Howdy, we'll call magic. I don't get to listen as much as I like to, as I used to be able to, but I enjoy it nonetheless. Whenever I can, whenever I can do it, I do it. So, all right. So here, let's add the stage here. Let's pull this up. Boom, boom, boom. Do this. No. That better. Okay, that better. Looks better. What is going on here? What is going on with my camera? Hold on, I gotta adjust my camera. My camera is way off. How did this happen? Okay. Better. All right, but why is this up here? Anyway, this shouldn't be so in my face here. Huh. Oh, I know why. That's better. Much better. Much, much better. Mm-hmm. Much better. All right. Mm-hmm. Think I have the autofocus on because when I was moving around, it's changing the focus. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get used to this new computers messing with me and everything, and it's been a problem. But I want to thank everybody who's here tonight. Please remember to hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed because that really helps. You know, hitting the like helps with the algorithm. Commenting helps with the algorithm a lot. And I want to just tell everybody that I'm super happy because yesterday's stream, while yesterday's stream was going on, it pushed us past 1,400 subscribers. We have 1,401 subscribers right now. So we're on our way to 5,000 subscribers, man. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Hey Marjorie, how you doing? So first episode. What is this? Wait, what happened? How is this? I don't. This was not supposed to be the first. This wasn't supposed to be the first. Wasn't supposed to be the first. There's another tweet before this. But anyway, it says there's no possible legitimate reason to do this. It's what despots do. It's petty. It's dangerous. It's un-American. Trump provokes Kamala Harris's security detail. Woo! Well, hey, Daniel Gigax, how you doing, man? And it's been awesome to watch the channel grow. I hope you get to watch it grow some more. You know, it's you know what they say. It's better to be a grower than a shower, right? Isn't that what they always say? No. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so there's a goal, as always. There's a goal every night. But I don't beat it, beat it down the bush because I'll go for 2-3 hours or I can go for 5-6 hours. This all depends on you, the chat, and participants, how long you want the show to go. Every $75 that comes in all across all platforms, YouTube, Rumble, Cash App, PayPal, whatever memberships, anything applies to the $75. And for every $75, we add an additional hour to the show. Also, the first $75 that comes in, we turn on Bellavision, or any single donation of $20 or greater automatically turns on Bellavision for the night. So that's how that works. Here we go. Updates. Trump provokes Kamala's. Imagine me a very serious attorney who's an expert on law and not finding any possible legitimate reason other than federal law for why VPs lose Secret Service protection automatically 6 months after leaving office. Huh. Because it's actually the law. It says, hey, look who this is here. Someone come in as Taylor N says, hey, Jimmy, how you doing, Taylor? And Steve Hilliard, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Trump cancels Kamala Harris's a service of protection. The Secret Service usually protects a former vice president for 6 months after they leave office, but President Joe Biden had extended Mrs. Harris's protection beyond that. How is it going to be up to Joe Biden to extend it? Joe Biden's not president. Seems odd, right? Harris, then vice president, on her way to campaign rally. Yeah. President Trump has terminated former Vice President Kamala Harris's Secret Service protection, according to a letter obtained by the New York Times. Mr. Trump, why wouldn't it be President Trump? You see, you said President Trump, but then you said Mr. Trump signed a memorandum. I don't know. Yeah, Joe Biden is no longer the president. Maybe someone should tell him, because if he's trying to extend things, signed a memorandum on Thursday that will end Mrs. Harris' protection as of Monday. The Secret Service usually protects a former vice president for 6 months after they leave office. Has it been longer than 6 months? I think it's been at least 8 months, coming up on 9 months. So that's 50% longer than it was supposed to be. Exactly. These people are extremely wealthy. Let them pay for their own security. Yeah. Definitely. Mm-hmm. But President Joe Biden had signed an order extending Mrs. Harris' protection for a year beyond that, according to two people familiar with the arrangement. So it was like a payoff. You see, Biden paid her off by giving her an extra year of free Secret Service protection. But like, why? Like, I mean, we already been. The Secret Service is protecting a bunch of people they're not supposed to protect, and because of that, they're not giving adequate protection to the people they're supposed to be protecting. Like we saw, there's a great story about the Secret Service cat fight at Obama's house, which if they were to properly train right people for the job, we wouldn't be having cat fights on a former president's detail. And then there was the whole stuff with Trump almost getting killed twice. That was, great example. So, and then we found out that Hunter Biden had Secret Service protection in Africa while he was there. And why would a son have Secret Service protection? Doesn't get protection. What? Anyway, Ms. Harris' aides had asked Mr. Biden's team for the extended protection because of serious security concerns. Without the order of Mr. Biden, Harris's protection would have ended in July. White House memorandum signed by President Trump directed Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, to discontinue any security-related procedures previously authorized. Hold on a second. Sorry. Yeah, DEI Secret Service, totally no part. To continue the Secret Service procedures previously authorized by executive memorandum beyond those required by law. Mhm. Spokesman for the White House and for Mr. Biden declined to comment. The Secret Service did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Kristen Allen, a senior advisor to Ms. Harris. Isn't it Mrs. Harris? Isn't she married? Isn't Mrs. Harris? She's married to Doug Emhoff, right? Or whatever. Emhoff. What's his name? Emhoff. Why is it Miss Harris? It's Mrs. Harris. She's married. Holy shit. Said in the statement, the vice president is grateful to the United States Secret Service. Or is she not married? Is that all a scam that she wasn't really married to that white guy? Anyway. The end of Miss Harris's. Why do they keep saying Ms. Harris? She is married. Doug. What is going on here? Am I unaware? Or are you supposed, because she doesn't use his last name? Do you not use Mrs.? So she's not a Mrs. because she uses her own last name? Is that how that works? The end of the protection comes just before she was set to embark on a nationwide tour to promote her new book about her presidential campaign. The book, titled 107 Days, is scheduled to be published September 23rd. President Trump's decision to revoke her security detail was reported earlier by CNN. Kamala, as the first woman and first black person to serve as vice president. But we did have a black man that was president, so I don't know why it's a big deal that we had a black vice president when we had a black president. That's like saying, like a hospital celebrating their first black janitor when they already had Ben Carson as the head of neurosurgery. Seems kind of dumb. Based on an elevated threat profile throughout her time, according to people familiar with her security arrangement, those threats increased sharply after she became the Democrat president nominee last summer when President Biden dropped out of the race, and they continued through the 2024 election. Since taking office, President Trump has ended Secret Service protection for a number of people. So it's not racist, right? And it's not bigoted because he ended it for a bunch of other people before her. Before the black woman, he ended a bunch of white people's. He ended a bunch of white people's security detail before the black woman. So don't want to hear about it. Or the Indian woman. I'm sorry, the Indian woman. The Caribbean Indian lady. Within hours of being sworn in, he removed the details from John Bolton, white guy, one of his former national security advisors, and he also revoked protection for Mike Pompeo, white guy, and Brian Hook, white guy. In March, Trump ended security protection for Biden's children, white girl, white guy. Biden also issued an executive order to extend protection to them. Well, crooked is as crooked does. Mm-hmm. What do we think about that? Mm-hmm. Now let's see what good old Foxy Doxy News has to say about the same story. Trump revokes Kamala Harris's Secret Service protection, spokesperson says. Harris, spokesperson, said there was no reason given as to why it was removed. Because it's not required by law. We don't be giving away free stuff. We're here saving money. We're way in debt. We can't be affording to spend money guarding multimillionaires who have their own money and can have their own protection. Have your hairy armpitted daughter, stepdaughter, whatever it is, use her modeling money to pay for security if you need it. Hey, Greg Norman wrote this. Wow, I wonder how he's doing since he stopped golfing. Oh, I gotta. I'm sorry. I gotta listen to her talk. We gotta listen to her talk. I'm sorry. I know it's not about the story per se, but come on. Why does Fox do this? Seriously, Zydak's computer? I just bought a computer. What are you trying to do to me here? No.
To some of the statements by former Vice President Kamala Harris about her political future and what's going on in the Democratic Party. Senior national correspondent Rich Edson shows us tonight.
I'm not going to go through names because then I'm going to leave somebody out.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris punted when
I
asked
should have
who
shaved
she
today.
sees as the leader of the
I
Democratic
didn't
Party
because I was
in her
lazy.
first interview since
I
her
promise I'll shave
2024
tomorrow.
election defeat.
It is a mistake for us who want to figure out how to get out and through this and get out of it, to put it on the shoulders of any one person.
As for herself, Harris says she's an author, not a governor.
Hey, everybody, we're back.
She passed on running for California governor next
Hey,
year,
Spuds, what's
opting
up?
for now to write a book about her presidential campaign.
I made the decision that for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I think it's broken.
Harris also says she thinks our systems of democracy are not as strong as they need to be, and that she wants to speak with people without having to ask them for their votes. President Trump says Harris is refusing to run because she's a terrible politician.
But she can't speak. She can't talk. She can't do an interview.
Still, one prominent Democrat says Harris should aim again for the presidency in 2028.
Running for governor of California, as powerful a position as it is, would be a step back. She is setting herself up to run.
Harris titled her book 107 Days, the duration of her short campaign. Then President Biden reportedly warned Harris against distancing her campaign from his unpopular administration. Harris explained why she refused to separate from Biden.
I was not going to pile on. And I just wasn't going to do that.
House Oversight Committee Chairman
Ooh.
James Comer says he may want to hear more about
Oh, Pyramid
Harris's
7.
observations on Biden and possibly
We're gonna talk
subpoena
about
her
this.
in the committee's investigation into the Biden administration and its use of the presidential auto pen. Shannon?
I'm guessing none of that will be in the book,
Don't think so.
but we'll read it to find out, Rich.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let me ask you guys. Should I shut the auto? I've been noticing that too. The autofocus thing. Should I shut the autofocus out? Is it keep doing weird stuff? Should I shut the autofocus off? Because I just noticed it now. I don't think I had it on before. Let me see here. Hey, what's this AI tracking? What? Image. See, autofocus. If I shut autofocus off, is that better? It doesn't do stuff? Oh, that's blurry. Is that better? 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 I think so. I think it's better. We'll then leave the autofocus off. If it becomes a problem, I'll turn it back on. Will she have her book signed with the auto pen? Who knows? But anyway, so Daniel Gigax says, I fully believe that the modeling money that Harris's stepdaughter made was a pay-for-play money laundering scheme. Same with Hunter's art. Now, I would 100% believe that because I've seen what she looks like with those hairy armpits. She's not a model, but I will say, in these days, modern day, what we've seen models look like with the fat and the different things and the weird Calvin Klein with the two fat people, transes and stuff. I don't know anymore what some people might pay. Like, it's weird. So I don't know, but I believe that I know Hunter's painting money was definitely pay for play and money laundering. So maybe her modeling money is too. Who knows? Oh, I was confusing the autofocus with the vapor. It's possible. It's possible that it was jacking up. Hey, look at that. 75 people here. Please hit the like if you haven't already and subscribe if you haven't. And, you know, check it out. Check it out. Yeah, so. mhm. Mm. A spokesman for Kamala Harris confirmed to Fox News on Friday that the former vice president's Secret Service protection has been revoked by President Donald Trump. Yeah, was exactly what was hot. I mean, yeah, I don't get it. I mean, maybe, maybe if they were modeling for like Lesbian Weekly or something, because she probably would have fit in there. Oh, Zelensky says he will sign her book with his penis. Wow. I guess I should shut this. Starting to get aggravating. Anyway, all right. The spokesperson added that there was no reason given as to why it was removed. Well, it was, the law. A senior White House official told Fox News Digital that vice presidents usually have Secret Service detail for only 6 months after departing office, which she's had it for 9 months, so she got it 50% longer. A source briefed on the matter also told Fox the decision to revoke Harris's protection was made yesterday, and that is when Secret Service was notified. Her fundraising events have been a flop. Yeah, to help raise money for DNC. Maybe that's why they took it off because it's been a flop. Former President Joe Biden signed an executive memorandum before leaving office, which extended Harris's protection for an additional year. On Thursday, he rescinded the memorandum. Yes, he is a pianist. He's a pianist. You know who else is a pianist? And I know about the Zelensky playing piano with the penis bit. I seen it. I know it. Her book tour has been skewed as a comedy tour. The move comes as Harris is set to kick off her tour for her upcoming book, scheduled to visit major American cities in its opening days. And I think this book is a money laundering thing, personally. Like, no matter what, like, she got a big cash payout for the book, and it doesn't matter if it sells or not. They'll buy it up. There's going to be people that are going to buy it up just to pay her off and stuff. People will own, thousands of copies. It's a huge, huge deal. Mm-hmm. Hey, howdy, Jim and the Gymsomniacs. Is that what we're going with, Gymsomniacs? Are we going with gymnasts? I don't know. It's either one of gymnasts or gym bros, or I don't know, man. We're still working on it. Just like the Obama book deal. Well, what about the Obama Netflix deal? That was a big old humdinger. Nice to see you too, K-Jab and No Jabski. How you doing? Hey, look at that. K-Jab and No Jabski both come in at the same time. Huh. The Jim Possibles. That's right, the Jim Possibles. Yes. Auto written. Could be. Secret Service says on its website that after former presidents leave office, they get security details for themselves and their spouses for life unless they decline protection. There's always been controversies about those types of book deals. Big companies will buy thousands of copies of the books, just destroy them or donate them so the money can change hands. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. Call us the Slim Jims. Oh, okay. And if you ever been on a Slim, oh yeah, slap into a Slim Jim. Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, had Secret Service protection removed in July. But why is she Miss Harris then? If it's her husband, Doug Emhoff. Someone's going to have to explain that to me. And this is a story I didn't get to the other night, which I wanted to get to. So there's a couple of these stories I want to buzz through that I didn't get to the other night. So Trump just put Soros on RICO watch. At the same time, Gates bailed on Arabella Advisors, the left's dark money ATM. The Democrats' secret funding sewer is collapsing. Let's break it down. Yesterday, Trump posted Soros and his son Alex should be prosecuted under RICO for support of violent protests and much, much more, all throughout the U.S. Getting hot in here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He didn't mince words. We're not going to allow these lunatics to rip apart America anymore. Elon Musk immediately backed him. It's high time action was taken against the Soros twins directly. Meanwhile, the New York Times quietly admitted that what they've hidden for years, Arabella Advisors, the massive dark money machine bankrolling left-wing activism, is falling apart. Arabella manages hundreds of funds that underwrite climate protests, ballot initiatives, racial justice groups, voter registration drives, the whole left-wing ground game. Shit. Hold on one second. There was something else I needed to do, and I forgot. Gotta be in. No, not in Wednesdays. Sorry, I'm looking for the story that goes with this, and I forgot to put it in here with it. There we go. All right. Hold on one second. Sorry. All done. There we go. That way I keep it all in order. Sorry about that. You like my coordinated hats and shirts? Well, I try. It's all about the fashion. I try. It's going to be tough for the DNC to raise money without USAID and finally scrutiny on Act Blue's dark money. Yeah, it's all coming in. Yeah, there's another story. Hi, I'm Jim, and I'll tell you. Hi, Mark. How you doing? But there was someone else I wanted to. That I forgot to do here. Never mind. No. Mm. Yeah, so Arabella manages the League of Jimmigrants. That's kind of wordy. I kind of like the Jim Possibles or the Jimmigrants. The Jimmigrants is good, or the Jim Possibles, the Jimmigrants, or the Gymnastics, or the Gymnasts, or the what was the other one? What was the other one? The Gymsomniacs. So it's got to be. I'm gonna have to do like a poll. The Jimmykins. I'm gonna have to do a poll on like the thing, like a poll on the page for members or something, and have them pick. So Arabella manages hundreds of funds that underwrite climate protest, ballot initiatives, racial justice group, voter registration drives, the whole left-wing ground game. What the Times doesn't say, Arabella is tied to Soros's family, and for years, it's been the shadow money machine behind Democratic operations. General Flynn has been warning since 2020 Arabella was the hub where billionaire money and taxpayer funds fused together to fuel protests and elections. USAID tax dollars went to mega foundations like Gates, Arabella Advisors, and Democrat NGOs, and then politicians, and then on to riots. In plain English, we were paying for our own destruction. Our money laundered into a professional protest machine. Over the past decade, Arabella scooped up USAID bureaucrats by the truckload, giving them cushy jobs in its network of blandly named nonprofits. What do you mean you can't believe what just happened? How didn't you believe it? I was supposed to do that before and I forgot. Big donors like the Gates Foundations also got fat USAID grants. In effect, USAID sent them taxpayer cash, which they passed along to Arabella, which then funneled it into activism. Trump shut off USAID spigot. Now that for Gates to keep Arabella afloat, he'd have to dip into his own foundation funds, and Doge investigators are tracing every dollar. No surprise, Gates just bailed out of Arabella, hiding behind a PR line that is just a business decision. Translation, they're panicking. This isn't just about optics. Why does it keep doing that? Arabella was left wing's lifeline. Without it, Democrats lose their shadow machine. They pooled anonymous mega donor cash that kept field ops running. Republicans still have win red and grassroots donors. Democrats, their dark money sewers being plugged. The fall was massive. Arabella funded groups that boosted Dem turnout must now downsize. That hits swing states in 2026 and 2028, where the margin of error operation decide elections. And the best part, Democrats can't cry about it without admitting the truth, that their civic engagement was powered by billionaire and taxpayer dark money. Jim and the TISM army. We all got a little bit of the TISM going on. Globally, the pressure's building too. Hungarian Prime Minister Orban has already vowed to expel Soros-backed groups, calling them corruption. Now Trump is signaling the same at home. Investigations are coming. Arabella-linked groups staged anti-ICE riots, received millions in grants, and even lined up for $2 billion in EPA climate funds. A taxpayer-funded protest machine. Bottom line, Soros and Arabella wasn't philanthropy. It was racketeering. Trump's RICO hammer plus Gates' retreat equals the left's funding septic tank is finally being drained. The swamp is panicking. The shadow machine is dying. Patriots win. This is this guy's page. I just want to pull it up because he's a. Trump put Soros on RICO watch, and the left's dark money sewer is about to explode. Caught in his own spider web. The dark money machine, and Gates has decided he doesn't like the look, so he's left. And this is the chart that breaks down all the money and where it goes: the new venture fund, Arabella Initiative, and it's just all interconnected, and it's really crazy. And the Gates Foundation has funneled more than $200 million to Arabella Network funds since, and according to the most recent financial disclosure. Look at this: new venture fund, new venture fund, new venture fund, Gates Foundation, new venture fund. Oh, and all these things, all this money, grand total $214 million. Annual Gates grants to Arabella. Look at that. 2019 was over 20 million. 2020 was over 60 million. 2021 over 50 million. 2022 over 60 million. And then 2023, it's back down to like 20. Well, it's back down to 2019 levels. So, the dark money network operated by Arabella Advisors reportedly lost one of its top funding sources, a leftist billionaire's foundation. Oh, wow. Pastor Seven says, my mom tried to file complaints because there was a bunch of Act Blue donations in her name at one of her old addresses from her childhood. Didn't go anywhere, and there was no recourse. Something's got to happen. Somebody's got to do something because this can't go on. Trump, George Soros' wonderful radical leftist son should be charged with RICO because of their support for violent protests and much more all throughout the U.S. George Soros' wonderful radical son should be charged with RICO. We're not going to allow these lunatics to rip apart America anymore. Never give them so much as a chance to breathe and be free. Soros and his group of psychopaths have caused great damage to our country. That includes his crazy West Coast friends. Be careful. We're watching you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. New York Times reported in case the Gates Foundation halted funding to the nonprofit managed by Arabella's empire. Okay. Teams are increasingly working with programmatic partners. Organizations are deeply embedded in communities we serve to closely align with our mission. As we look ahead, there's a chance to build deeper, more durable relationships with those partners. There was over 100 $2 and $3 donations in her name. Well, that's how they do it, because it's not enough. It's generally not enough. There's a way that the system is rigged, is if they do these small dollar donations, they don't attract scrutiny. They don't get looked at. They don't get investigated. They don't get asked for any information, because like, I think the donations have to be above $100, like actual individual donation or something, for them to actually look into it. Tracing the network is tricky. The Gates Foundation has plowed $450 million into the network since 2008, which in turn funneled money to other nonprofits ranging from radical leftist climate groups to abortion initiatives, and even supporting the permanent protest industrial complex against President Trump. Yeah, Riot Incorporated, how Arabella's dark money funds the protest industrial complex. Yes. Mm-hmm. Dark money infusion at Arabella Advisors has funneled to at least $114 million to the No Kings protest organizers. President Trump back in the White House, investigations focus on corruption across the Democrat Party's funding and nonprofit infrastructure, as well as Act Blue investigations. The risks for Bill Gates' progressive NGO empire have never been greater. This is K Fox News. Trump warns, we're watching financier George Soros. Tell him, we're watching you, Mr. Palpatine. President Donald Trump warned Wednesday he is watching billionaire financier George Soros. Trump wrote in a post on social media, on Truth Social, that Soros and his group of psychopaths, which included crazy West Coast friends, have caused great damage to the country. Political reports. That's George Soros and son to face federal charges. The president has ramped up legal threats against his political opponents in recent weeks. We'll see. Yeah, Soros' kid married Uma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's ex-chief of staff or whatever, her rug munching pal or scissor sister or whatever, and who used to be married to Anthony Weiner. President Trump is pressing for Democrat megadonor Soros and his son to face federal racketeering charges, he said in a social media post on Wednesday. The latest attempt from the president to leverage federal power against political enemies. It's funny, isn't it? I think it's funny that Soros is banned from Hungary and Viktor Orban was talking trash about him. All of a sudden, all this money dumped into projects to go against Viktor Orban. It was all paid by Soros. Yeah, it's weird. Isn't that how that works? Weird how that works. And then we're just going to look at this quickly because I don't know. There's Trump targets Soros as part of a larger campaign against the left's infrastructure. The president called for a progressive donor to be charged with racketeering following the tyrant's playbook about how to deal with political opposition. Tyrant's playbook. Trump spent nearly a decade peddling absurd claims about paid protesters. As anyone disagrees with him must necessarily be corrupt, inauthentic. And the president keeps pushing going awkwardly worded online statement last week. It's just been found that Democrats are buying protesters in order to fight my attack on crime. Using clumsy passive voice phrase, and predictably he made no reference to any evidence or any effort to explain what exactly has been found. Well, there's that group that we saw, that group called, what is it? To paid, what is it? There's an actual group that's what they do. Something like Crowd, Rent a Crowd or something like that. But then Soros, he has got some words to say too. So it says, George Soros on Donald Trump. President Trump's a con man, ultimate narcissist who wants the world to revolve around him. When his fantasy of becoming president came true, his narcissism developed a pathological dimension. Oh, let's listen to what this clown has to say.
President Trump is a con man and the ultimate narcissist who wants the world to revolve around him. When his fantasy of becoming president came true, his narcissism developed a pathological dimension. President Trump is a con.
Well, all I have to say to that is, says an elite globalist who has had his companies banned in 6 countries. George Soros is banned in Russia, Pakistan, Turkey, Hungary, Poland, and the Philippines. Hey, them Poles, man, they're not playing around. And, oh, look at this. Dark money group paying pro-Dem influencers up to $8K a month in this report. So, we know that they've been paying people a lot. Sounds like Hecklefish when I did the... I love Hecklefish. Like this, like, what is it, Brooklyn Dad, Defiant or whatever, and that New Jersey Mom or whatever. And do I have a Rumble channel? Yeah, it's the same as this. It's Jim Tells You. My Rumble channel. See, it's right here. Rumble. See, there's a Rumble channel. The same globalists that are backing Soros are keeping Poland busy by pushing them with the Russians going to invade them stuff. Notice how Poland got quiet and a lot of the political stuff. Yeah. You looked, it didn't show. It should be the same thing. Jim Tells You. Same channel. It's Rumble's weird though. Like, I haven't been able to grow at all on Rumble. Like, I'm stuck at like 300 subs on Rumble, followers, whatever they call it. So yeah, so these people are all getting paid. Look at them all getting paid. And of course, David Pakman thinks it's just great because that's where his money comes from. That dark money group 1630 fund is Arabella Advisors and is pure open society pass through. Congratulations to Taylor Renz for finally catching up to what we've known for all known for years, that Democrat Party is controlled by Soros. This guy's like, how do I get a piece of the action? Yeah. And that's who is paying. Like, we know. Don't let Jim fool you. He doesn't even have a YouTube. What? Oh, it came up this time. I watch you. That's all I basically watch is YouTube. I don't really watch TV anymore. I mean, occasionally, like, I did watch that series, Mobland. Excellent series, man. It's right up there with Peaky Blinders. This is a 1630 fund also funded by Pierre Amadaya, which Lorenz didn't mention, nor did she disclose she's currently paid by Amadaya Network as part of the Reporters in Residence program. Aha. Because I got rid of all my paid services and cable. I pay for a year of ad-free YouTube. That's all you watch on my TV. You can get everything you want on YouTube. You really can. Occasionally there's some stuff like I'll see that I'm like, oh, I want to watch that, so I'll watch stuff. And I needed certain things for my grandkids to be able to watch stuff because you never know what YouTube. Every once in a while, some weird stuff will pop up, and you don't want that to happen. Yeah, Mobland, excellent on Paramount Plus, excellent, or Paramount. Excellent series with Tom Hardy and the guy that what's in Pierce Brosnan and Muriel Hemingway. What's her name? Another, like, a bunch of really good people. Yeah. For some reason, people on both sides never seem to talk about Ahmadiyya. Says there's a whole lot of billionaires involved in these groups. Tom Arnold, Buffett's kids, Bezos. Soros just gets most of the attention. Tom Arnold's a billionaire? Tom Arnold ain't a billionaire. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of creepy stuff that gets through on YouTube. That's why I put on like direct shows on Netflix or on like Disney Plus for my grandkids and stuff to watch. So they got stuff. I don't know. My grandson loves Blippi, this guy, and it drives me nuts because I can't stand Blippi. I think there's something wrong with him, but my grandson loves him. So what am I going to do? Totally get it. I'm on the other names involved, just helping to make sure the ones who are also culpable don't stay in the shadows. They want them to get some attention too. The fact that Wired apparently has no editorial standard would have required her to disclose her current Amadire network funding is wild, in my opinion, especially considering the subject of the article. So yes, well, Taylor Lorenz, as usual, didn't talk about the stuff that she does. You know, because writing an article, Ari Dark Money influence of the 1630 fund and subtly linked to political article without explicitly saying Pierre Amandayer is one of their biggest funders, or that you're currently being paid by Amandayer Network as a reporter in residence. Mm-hmm. In 2020, the fund distributed more than 400 million, according to organizations' public tax filing, which Politico said was used in efforts to unseat then President Donald Trump and Republican Senate majority. Wow, they spent 400 million in 2020 to unseat President Trump. The 1630 fund. Wow, I think we should really be looking into this stuff. Tech billionaire Pierre Amadire and his wife Pam disclosed earlier this year that they were responsible for the $45 million gift which went to Civic Action Fund, a fiscally sponsored project of the 1630 Fund. Wow. And then it says, personal news, I'm so excited to announce that I'm joining Amadire Network's next Reporters in Residence cohort. I'll still be doing my newsletter, but I'll be writing a lot more about the fight to protect free speech online. Oh, what do you know? What do you know? See, they're all getting paid. Mm-hmm. Taylor Lorenz joins Amadire Network Reporters in Residence. Maybe she can ask about that time eBay harassed and stalked journalists. Mm-hmm. 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 Sorry, I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. What is Blippy? Blippy is a creepy dude in real life, very questionable lifestyle, some pretty heavy accusations against him. Well, there's two. There's a new one. Is that why they replaced the guy? Because there's two different guys. Yeah, but I don't know. Blippy, Blippi. I don't know. It might be on YouTube, but it's creepy. And the guy is very creepy. Yeah, there's a different guy now. There's a different Blippy guy, and I didn't know why they replaced him. So Dark Money Group paying pro-dem influencers up to $8K a month. A secretive dark money group tied to the Democrat Party is paying online influencers up to $8,000 a month to disseminate left-leaning talking points, according to a report. The Chorus Creator Incubator Program is said to be funded by the 1630 Fund, a nonprofit sometimes portrayed as the left's answer to the Koch network, which has funneled money to dozens of Democrat-friendly influencers, according to Wired magazine. What's that, Patrick? Philip Coggins? Sorry. Rumble lets you send super chats, but YouTube censors even the most mundane ones. I don't know. The problem with I got a chat on Rumble. Coggins says these people on the left complaining that they don't get as much money for independent media like the right does, ignoring the fact that they're pushing the same narrative as that mainstream media. Yeah, and here's the thing: is for a long time it was all the left getting all the money, all the NGO stuff, and all the money that was coming through USAID funding all this media was all going to the left. It was all going to the left. All going to the left. All of it. And I have to update the banner now because that $10, right? That was $10. Make sure I got that right. Yeah, $10. Thank you for the $10, Philip Coggins. That $10 comes off the banner. So that means we are now $60 away from an extra hour and television. Mm-hmm. Yeah, super creepy, but I think it's super creepy, but for whatever reason my grandson really likes it. I don't know. I mean, unless I see something really weird going on there, I'll let him. I mean, it's not up to his parents decide what he watches. I can't, it's not my. I don't want to overstep. I've been accused of being an overstepper when it comes to my grandson and doing stuff I shouldn't do, and like buying him things and stuff. I don't know, spoiling him. I don't know. What are you gonna do? The names attached to the program span some of the most recognizable liberal voices online. They include Olivia Giuliana. Well, she's the most recognizable because she's the biggest, like, size-wise, biggest voice. The Gen Z activist who spoke at the 2024 Democrat National Convention, Lauren Peretra, a former Playboy executive turned Occupy Democrats YouTuber. Well, see, that tells you why Playboy went to shit, because they're one of their directors. One of their directors was an Occupy Democrats. Oh, Trumpinator for another 5 says, please support Slim Jim. Cool. Thank you very much. Yes, please support Slim Jim. And please support Bellavision. Bella would love to get on camera today. She's just sitting there laying, having a good old time. She would like to get on camera. Oh. And we're now $55 away from the first extra hour. That's what I thought. I thought that was what grandparents' jobs were supposed to be, to spoil their grandkids, but I guess it gets the parents upset. I try to be a cool grandpa. I try, Yeah, it's Grandpappy's. Well, I'm Peepaw is what he calls me, Peepaw. To make mom and dad mad by spoiling. Yes. Oh, they're not spoiled. They're supposed to smell like that. Okay, thanks, man. I didn't know. Hey, we got 95 people here watching right now. Please remember, hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Check out the goal. It's very interesting. So, and YouTuber Barrett Adair, the content creator who runs a viral American Girl doll themed meme account. Ugh. She looks like she's going to eat Joe Biden. Look at that. Yeah. She's the person that the Dems thought were going to get young men back into the Democrat Party. She was going to attract young men. The program also included Suzanne Lambert, who styles herself a Regina George liberal, whatever that means. Ariel Fedor, a teacher with 1.4 million TikTok followers. Yeah. It says, remember when that Democrats thought millions of dollars for that fat, gross lady was going to help them get right-wing men in their 20s and 30s to switch to left? Yeah, they're pretty dumb. It was a money laundering scheme. No one could have thought it would be successful. Yeah. Oh, what's this? Trump in there says, anyone that's rich in the chat, please step up. Thanks. Lee McGowan, better known to her audience as Politics Girl. Oh, yeah. She's so annoying. This lady, Politics Girl, is so annoying with crazy eyes. Like psycho. Each of them and many more were brought into communications with Chorus, the nonprofit arm of the for-profit influencer agency, to take part in the program. The 1630 Fund told the Post that as fiscal sponsor of Chorus, that the group receives donations on Chorus's behalf and provides operational and administrative support for Chorus, though it states it's not the original source of financing. Yeah, she's got them SSRI eyes, definitely. Politics grandma. Yeah, she's nuts, man. Really, really nuts. The fiscal sponsorship model is common across philanthropy, and our work with Chorus is in compliance with all laws, 1630 Fund told the Post. In all, chorus told participants more than 90 influencers were expected to join, according to Wire. So 90 influencers at 80K a year. What's that? 720,000 a year? No, 7.2 million they were paying. Yes, or no, 72 million. Wow. Wow. The arrangement was cloaked in secrecy. So 90. Or I don't know. No, it's 9 million. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, you could. Someone needs to change the lyrics to Betty. She's got Betty Davis eyes. To she's got SSR eyes. Mhm. Contracts reviewed by Wired barred creators from publicly acknowledging the program, disclosing the identity of any funder, or even admitting they were being paid at all. The publication reported a breach could mean expulsion from the program and loss of thousands in monthly income. One clause reportedly gave Chorus unilateral authority to demand creators take down content produced at its events. Another required influencers to route any dealings with politicians through the organization, effectively turning Chorus into a gatekeeper between Democrat politicians and their online supporters, according to Wired. Wow. David Hackman, more like it. And Hackman and Ratskin sitting in a tree. Some balked at the restrictions. In a group chat among influencers debating the terms, one pro-abortion creator, Pari at Women in America, quipped, "I believe we are in stage 5, acceptance." Aaron Parnas, a Gen Z news influencer once hailed as the Gen Z Walter Cronkite, is reported to have told colleagues it was take it or leave it. Ultimately, many signed. Programs, so he was take it or leave it. So this guy, Gen Z influencer, obviously he's part of it, and he was part of their stuff. So he's obviously getting paid and was already in their pocket, and that's why he told them it's take it or leave it. People go ahead and get the money. The program secrecy clause was deliberate. It avoids a lot of the public disclosure that you see on political ads. A lawyer for Cora said in a Zoom call with creators. Yeah, but if here's the problem though, they're all violating YouTube terms of service and Rumble terms of service if they're not disclosing. I wonder if TikTok, and I'm sure Kick and all them TikTok, they have the same rules. If you're being paid by someone, you're supposed to disclose that. It's paid content. Your names aren't showing up on reports filed with the FEC. Oh, well, you know, there's Scumbag 1, Scumbag 2, Scumbag 3, all of them. Susan Lambert, Chris Murphy, and Maxwell Frost sitting for a video recording. That omission exactly what alarms watchdogs. For democracy to thrive, we need transparency around who is paying for political messages. Elizabeth Dubois, a University of Ottawa professor who studies digital politics, told the outlet. Don Heater, head of the Santa Clara University's Marcala Center for Applied Ethics, was even blunter. If the contract says you can't disclose it, then it's pretty simple. You can't take the money. Heater told Wire. Yet the money was hard to resist. In addition to the $8K a month amplifier tier, some creators were offered smaller stipends, around $250 a month, to be part of what Chorus described as a larger incubator, according to Wired. The collective reach, Chorus bragged in its fundraising materials, topped 40 million followers and 100 million weekly views. Yeah, these people are, look, I mean, already the cohort was produced collaborative content. A new weekly series, Good News in Politics, featured 6 influencers, including Eliza Orlins, Sander Jennings, the Z activist touting Democratic wins. The creators encourage viewers to follow those creators to bring you hope instead of doom scrolling. For the future of the Democrat Party, burned by years of failed influencer outreach, the strategy marks a dramatic shift. After the Biden White House froze out critical creators and the Harris campaign alienated others, the party is now mimicking tactics long used by Republicans who have spent decades cultivating a sprawling conservative media ecosystem. The media ecosystem on the right is not controlled by the right-wing politicians. The people are doing it on their own. That's the thing about people who are independent and don't. That basically you're saying that Democrats are all communists and these people, and they have to be told exactly what to do and given directions. They can't just go out and do things on their own. Seems weird. Brian Tyler Cohen likes to portray himself like he's not a corporate DNC shill. It's rich. Yeah, it's crazy. But while right-wing influencers often receive direct funding through PACs or campaigns, Democrats are now accused of using nonprofit intermediaries to obscure the money trail. I mean, does nobody remember that Kamala Harris paid out boatloads of money to people like Beyonce and all these other people, and Al Sharpton, and what's that? Call Her Daddy podcast, and all these other ones, like millions of dollars she spent, hundreds of millions of dollars. The 1630 Fund, founded. What does 1630 Fund mean? Founded in 2009, is no small player. It poured $141 million into left-leaning causes during the 2018 midterms, $400 million during the 2020 cycle, and $196 million on ballot initiatives in 2022. Wow. Well, they didn't push Joe Rogan away. It's just what their ideas and everything pushed anybody that wasn't a mental case away. Yeah, she paid for endorsements, which is illegal. That's the story. Just 4 donors accounted for nearly 2/3 of its revenue last year. Now, through Chorus, that money is flowing to TikTokers, YouTubers, and Instagram personalities. Content creator Susan Lambert styles herself as Regina George Liberal. Not all creators welcome the arrangement. V. Spahar, a TikTok star with 3.5 million followers, accused Chorus of using their image in fundraising decks without permission. Kat Abugazela, a progressive YouTuber now running for Congress, told Wired that she too was featured on Chorus materials without consent. What we need is investment in independent media, Spahar said, not another middleman. Some Democrat creators defended the program, including Elizabeth Booker Houston and Ellie O'Brien, both of whom were reportedly offered high-paying slots in the incubator. Well, of course, the people they're paying big money to are going to say it's great. No. Others, like Keith Edwards, a YouTuber who rose to prominence last year, blasted it as predatory. The Post has sought comment from influencers named in the article, as well as from 1630 Fund. Yes, I've received compensation to supplement years of previously unpaid work, Peretta told the Post. Oh, God, look at that. Oh, look at that crazy lady. Oh, my God. Oh. Leigh McGowan, better known to our audience as Politics Girl. Saying a politics girl, that's not a girl. That's old lady, old hag, granny. Ugh. I think I'm going to be sick. They should put a warning on when something like that's going to come up. The fund supports content creation sustainability while maintaining zero ownership, editorial control, or messaging input. They have no approval processes, no deliverables requirements, and no review or oversight of what I create. Well, that's bullshit, lady. You're lying, because they said that they could tell you to take stuff down. Peretta said that the expectation that creators should indefinitely absorb all labor costs without compensation is neither sustainable nor reasonable. It's called, you talk about things you support and you believe in. You say stuff. If it's a good message, and people will pay you for the message just because they like the message. I don't understand this. I mean, I guess that's why if you're not really confident in yourself as a content creator, or as someone who's making stuff. If you want somebody to subsidize your work, like, that's basically not involved at all and not actually consuming your work, it doesn't like your work, they just like it's, I don't know, it seems gross to me what's going on. When my content is funded by an organization or vetted cause with shared values, you'll see a clear disclosure. A spokesman for 1630 Fund told the Post Chorus is doing crucial work to spread pro-democracy messages to Americans. Why? How would Americans need pro-democracy messages? That's so stupid. Creators working with Chorus have always been encouraged to talk about their involvement in the program. Well, we just saw that was bullshit. The rep said, as a nonprofit, Chorus creators are not paid to support candidates. They are free to do so in their own time. No, they're not paid to support candidates. They're paid to support a message, the Democrat message. They're all Democrat candidates. See, that's how they work around. Is if you support a single candidate, then you're giving an in-kind donation. But there should be some kind of, if you're giving to the Democrat Party as a whole, that's still an in-kind donation to the Democrat Party. 1630 Funds work with Chorus is limited to our role as a fiscal sponsor. We process donations on Chorus's behalf, but are not the original source of funding. Oh. They say it's not us. Oh my God, what happened to Kate Beckinsale? She looks horrible. You feel the need to gaslight yourself? You put Pac-Man on for 5 minutes? Well, I don't recommend doing that often. This was a great, funny story that I saw, and I was like, whoa. I just knew you guys would like this. In Mexico, senators engage in fistfight after heated debate over the U.S. military intervention against drug cartels. The cartels oppose the intervention and threaten to cut off politicians who support it. It is life or death. No, I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that to myself. I wouldn't force myself to watch David Pakman. That's like, he's insufferable. Hmm. Hmm. Eh. Now, I will point out that when America was a fledgling democracy, no, not fledgling democracy, but when we're coming up, America, there was canings on the floor of the Senate and the House, and people fought duels and stuff, and there was physical attacks. That was, a couple hundred years ago and stuff. There wasn't cameras and there wasn't people there, and they were fighting over stuff. But, this is what's happening in Mexico today. Yeah, Mexico. You blame that awful green top. Well, that guy could do it. Yeah, putos. Vámonos las putos. Those guys are speaking Spanish. Yeah, that's because they're in Mexico, Steve. This is the Mexican Senate. And they're arguing, they're fighting because some of the people, the politicians in Mexico, want Trump and American help to fight the cartels. And those would be the people that aren't corrupt, getting paid by the cartels. And then the other people who are getting paid by the cartels, like the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum. Yeah, that was before the Civil War. So maybe there's going to be a civil war in Mexico since they're fighting on the floor. Maybe, history rhymes, doesn't necessarily repeat, but it rhymes. So fighting on the floor and, I don't know. Maybe this happens all the time in Mexico. I don't know. I don't follow Mexican politics as closely as I should, probably. I'm a big fan of their tortas and their big booty Latinas, but I'm not a big fan of their politics. Jokes, people, just jokes. And then, breaking. A massive fistfight has erupted on the Mexican Senate floor as senators clash over whether the United States should intervene to help combat Mexican cartels. Yeah, we saw the video, but the cartels are not going to be happy their politicians are fighting. What is this? Oh, he was just tagging them to see it. And I was thinking, I don't know what Doge AI has a thing for Senator Padilla. Because anytime anything happens with any type of senator, he's always got to bring up Senator Padilla. So it's got to be whoever's controlling or programming Doge AI hates Senator Padilla and put something in there. Solid views. What do you mean? When hasn't Mexico been in a state of civil war since their independence? A long time. Long time, man. Long time they've been going. Senator Padilla's reckless disruption of DHS operations in LA mirrors the chaos in Mexico's Senate. Political theatrics while cartels tighten their grip. The Stop the Cartels Act, H.R. 1915, prioritizes intelligence on trafficking routes and financial networks. Yet lawmakers brawl instead of securing borders. Cartel threats to politicians prove the stakes. Enforcement isn't optional. Weakness only emboldens them. Mexico's refusal to allow U.S. military intervention ignores reality. These criminal empires operate globally. Trump's designation of cartels as terrorist entities under Section 106 was a necessary step. Bureaucrats panicking over accountability? Predictable. Oh, the tortas and the big booty Latinas. I love me some tortas, man. I do. I haven't been able to get a good one in a while. I only get really good ones when I go to Chicago. They don't have any good tortas in Florida, unfortunately. They put mayonnaise on them in Florida. Like, what are you doing? Ugh. What are you doing? Real leadership means crushing cartels, not staging fistfights. Hey, Joe, where you going to go with that gun in your hand? That's a good song. Oh. Yeah, we don't have Mexican food in Florida, only Cuban. Yeah, that's the problem. That's when you say torta, it's like they gave you like a Cubano. It's like, no, torta. Tacos El Norte for the win, yeah. Hi, all. Hi, Pat Hacker. How you doing? Hey, look at that. It's to Senator Schumer, Speaker Pelosi, Governor Newsom, and Hakeem Jeffries. And Hakeem Jeffries untagged himself. That's funny. By all means, let in the millions of illegals from Mexico where these clowns reside, so that we get their criminals, alcoholics, drunk drivers, drug addicts, rapists, pedophiles, and then let those who work here illegally send 63 billion of American dollars back to Mexico. Don't spend it in the U.S. to enrich, just enrich Mexico's businesses and donors to political campaigns that put these clowns in the Mexican Senate. Then let the Mexican cartels control the border and bring fentanyl in that kills millions of Americans. Seems like a fair trade-off, Democrats. Money sent home by Mexicans working abroad rose by 7.6% in 2023 to reach a record $63 billion. And the vast majority of that comes from the U.S. Like 97% of it comes from the U.S. We need to tax that shit, like now. Probably all that Medicare, Medicaid money they weren't getting. Yeah, definitely. Mexican Senate descends into chaos over U.S. intervention into drug cartels. Wow. Photo by Diego Fernandez, distributed by shared copyright, self-made, authorized. Mexico's Senate descended into chaos Wednesday when a heated debate on U.S. military intervention against drug cartels erupted into a fistfight. The clash began after opposition PRI senators accused the ruling Morena party of trying to silence debate on whether Mexico should welcome U.S. assistance against cartels. But I will issue the PRI or PRL. Is it PRI? I think it's PRI. Those are the people that were in power forever that actually were working with the cartels. PRI was working with the cartels. That was who was in power when, the Sinaloa cartel was formed by the Slim Man, Gallego was his name. Guy by the name of Gallego and El Mayo. And then the other guy, what's his name? The guy that killed Kiki Camarena, all those people. That was PRI. Accused the ruling Morena party of trying to silence debate on whether Mexico should welcome U.S. assistance against cartels. PRI leader Alejandro Alito Moreno. Wasn't that weird? That this guy, it's the Morena party, and the guy, the leader of the PRI's last name is Moreno. Isn't that odd? So Moreno is against Morena. Appeared to open the idea while Senate President Gerardo Fernandez Noroña, representing Morena, strongly opposed foreign military intervention in Mexico. Hey, we got 100 people here watching on YouTube. Please hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and leave a comment and talk. Hey, Mother of Papillon, sliding in late. How you doing? When Moreno was denied the floor, he confronted Fernandez Noroña, grabbing and shoving him. even striking his neck. An aide who tried to intervene was knocked down, and another lawmaker joined in, swinging at Fernandez Noronha. Later, Fernandez Noronha accused Moreno of threatening to kill him and filed a criminal complaint. He also called for an emergency section to expel Moreno and 3 other PRI senators involved. I said Joe, Tika bad. That's all right. Whose mother? The fight capped a tense debate in which Morena lawmakers accused the opposition PRI and PAN parties of advocating U.S. military strikes on Mexican soil. Opposition senators denied pushing for intervention, though a PAN senator recently told Fox News that U.S. help would be welcome. PRI members countered by accusing the ruling party of protecting cartels. In February, the Trump administration designated 8 Latin American drug trafficking organizations as foreign terrorist groups, 6 Mexican, 1 Venezuelan, and 1 Salvadoran. President Trump has since signed a directive authorizing the Pentagon to use military force against such organizations. A move confirmed by administration sources. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the new terrorist designations give Washington a broader power to confront the cartels, allowing the U.S. to use intelligence agencies, the Pentagon, and other elements of American power to treat them as armed terrorist groups rather than just drug traffickers. If Jim is a butterfly, papillon, then yes, I am his mother too. The White House has not denied reports that military planners were asked to draft strike options against Mexican cartels, with sources saying lethal options could be ready as early as mid-September. Whoa! Someone's going to cancel Christmas. Mexico has firmly rejected the idea. President Claudia Sheinbaum stressed there would be no invasion of Mexico. Well, no, we're not going to invade Mexico. We're just going to bomb the shit out of it. Insisting sovereignty is not for sale. After revelations that Trump had secretly signed a directive authorizing military force against cartel, she clarified the order had nothing to do with the participation of any military personnel or any institution in our territory. Yeah, we don't want her people participating. We're not even going to tell them. We're just going to say, boom, boom, goodbye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's NAFTA version 2. The Reckoning. Let me check something. Mm-hmm. Earlier this year, when Trump offered to send troops to Mexico to help combat drug trafficking, Sheinbaum replied, "No, President Trump, our territory is inviolable. Our sovereignty is inviolable." Still, some in Mexico's opposition favor greater U.S. involvement. PAN Senator Lily tells all. Hey, Lily tells you. Yeah, she's my Mexican correspondent. Speaking during a Senate session approving the arrival of 10 U.S. soldiers to train Mexican Marines, argued that cooperation with U.S. forces does not amount to invasion. The homeland wasn't sold. The homeland wasn't subjugated, she said, pointing to a long-standing military exchanges. Yeah. Drone strikes and Ginsu missiles inbound. Yes. We got those missiles that they open up with the blades that just chop them up and don't explode, so it just gets the person. That's what they're going to use. Tellez went further, backing Trump's designation of cartels as foreign terrorist organizations and calling for U.S. military help against groups like the Sinaloa and Jalisco New Generation. See, Jalisco New Generation to me sounds almost like a boy band. Like, we're Jalisco New Generation. New Generation. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. Who am I? Who am I to judge? That's what it sounds like. I'm sure they don't do good dance moves and all that stuff, though. She claimed Mexico cannot defeat the cartels alone and accused Sheinbaum Morena government of shielding them. The President Claudia, the Secretary of AMLO, is protecting his narco state. Oh, so President Sheinbaum was AMLO's secretary? The cartels are partners of Morena, and them they owe their arrival and continued presence in power, she charged, accusing Sheinbaum of using excuses to block cooperation. The opposition claims of government collusion with cartels are not without precedent. U.S. criminal cases against top Mexican officials have revealed corruption at the highest levels of security establishment. In 2020, former Defense Minister General Salvador Cienfuegos Zepeda was accused of aiding the H2 cartel. Steve Hillier says, I wonder how much legal weed in the States has cost Mexico. Well, Mexico transitioned away from the weed a long time ago. Like once they got into cocaine, the weed was ancillary. They don't make the amount of money, weed, the amount of size and packing and stuff of weed and the profit margin, it's way lower than cocaine. And so they have to, they went to the bigger, 100 pounds of cocaine and 100 pounds of marijuana, vastly different price ranges. You're talking about, 100 pounds of marijuana is like 50 grand. Tops. 100 pounds of cocaine, like, I don't know, 20 million. Pepe says, Jello. In 2024, former Public Security Secretary Genaro Garcia Luna, one of Mexico's most powerful law enforcement officials, was sentenced to 38 years in prison and fined $2 million for taking millions in bribes from the Sinaloa cartel. Evidence showed that Garcia Luna's federal police acted as escorts and bodyguards for cartel operatives, but they allowed them to wear police uniforms and help them move cocaine shipments through Mexico City's airport. Well, they used to have this group. It was called there was a secret police. There was like a lion thing. What was it called? DFS, or DSF, the Democratic Security Force. It was like the CIA, the Mexican CIA, and they were basically just cartels, hitmen, basically, and everything. They protected them. It was some money thing. A U.S. Army report noted that over a 6-year period, 150,000 of Mexico's 250,000 soldiers deserted and later joined the drug trade. Holy schmolies. That's a lot. That's more than 50%, fueling suspicions that cartel influence reached deep into the ranks of the military and its leadership. Wow. Mm-hmm. Cartels have also systematically corrupted judges, police, and politicians using their vast profits to secure protections. Beyond bribery, systemic weaknesses in law enforcement have let more than 90% of crimes go unprosecuted, undermining public trust and reinforcing the perception of impunity. Wow, that's nuts. That's El Nutso. By 2024, U.S. military estimates suggested that cartels controlled roughly 1/3 of Mexican territory, exerting power not only through violence, but also through influence over local governments and security forces. This is from Antonio Gracefo, PhD, China MBA. He better not go to Mexico. They'll kill him. And we'll go. Fox News also says Mexican senators brawl on camera following debate over U.S. targeting cartels. A Mexican Senate session descended into chaos on Wednesday while two senior politicians traded blows following a heated debate over U.S. involvement in the fight against drug cartels. Video captured a moment when Alejandro Alito Moreno, head of the opposition Institutional Revolutionary Party, PRI, Party Revolution Institucional, see, they go backwards. It's their Institutional Revolutionary Party, PRI, and Gerardo Fernandez Lorena, the Senate president of the ruling Morena Party. So Moreno and Morena, this is weird. Lawmakers finished singing the national anthem to close the day's session. So they sang the national anthem and then started swinging on each other. Hey, Base Jim, LFG, all night long. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what's going on. Right now, we're not really bringing it in. Might be a short night tonight. The clash erupted after a tense debate during which Morena Party and its allies reportedly accused PRI and the Conservative National Action Party lawmakers of calling for U.S. military intervention in Mexico. Well, it can happen, I guess. One second. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. So yeah, so it's basically the same article, I think. And so there's why does it do that? Why does it do this recommended video thing on the screen? I don't get it. I want to pull that up about Trump. That Moreno claims his party denied the floor in the scuffle. Moreno clashed with one of Fernando's collaborators, cameraman, who was kicked to the floor. Mm-hmm. Like there's some punches. He hit me. He told me I'm going to break your mother. I'm going to kill you. Fernandez Norena told a press conference. Let's be clear. The physical aggression came from Fernandez Norena. Moreno said. It was approved agenda minutes before reaching the corresponding point. Morena changed to the convenience to silence us and prevent us from opposition from speaking out. Their obligation was to give me the floor, and they didn't do it. The spectacle himself, Senator Hogan's blast allocated after his forcible removal from DHS presser. So they're tying it together too. They didn't respond. So yeah, so here we are. Yeah. Wait, what was that? We'll just talk through this real quick.
Now you can stream Fox News live on the Fox One app.
Story breaking right now.
The news anytime, every time, all the time.
The stories you won't find anywhere else.
In your mind.
What is playing?
Fox One.
Man, that was ridiculous. Why did it do that? Started playing stuff when I'm President Trump has secretly. How's it secretly? How could it be secretly? President Trump has secretly authorized military force against Latin American drug cartels designated by the United States as foreign terrorist organizations, according to reports. Move reported by the New York Times would give U.S. forces permission to engage the cartels, which traffic drugs like fentanyl across the U.S.-Mexican border. The president is determined to not just dismantle, but completely destroy the Venezuelan dictator Maduro's Cartel de los Soles and obliterate their operations in the Western Hemisphere, a source close to the White House said. Anti-cartel effort is being coordinated through several departments, including the Department of Defense, Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security, Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and the Treasury. President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland, which is why he took the bold step to designate several cartels and their gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. Deputy White House Press Secretary Anna Kelly said in a statement, Mexican President Sheinbaum said on Friday that the U.S. military would not be entering Mexico territory, following reports that Washington take combat action to combat the cartels. Hey, he's dead, Jim. How's it going, buddy? What's going on? Huh. And, those look, I don't know if they're supposed to be MDMA or what they're supposed to be. Those fentanyl pills. It has nothing to do with Mexican territory, she said. It has to do with their country. It does not involve our territory. Trump has previously discussed using military force against drug cartels in an effort to stop the flow of drugs. Okay. He's also sanctioned high-ranking members of the Cartel de Noreste, one of the most violent drug trafficking organizations in Mexico, and a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization. Okay. Oh, this was a funny story I saw that I just had to bring up. So this next story. Pennsylvania woman was horrified to find a massive swastika and German war eagle tiled in her basement floor after purchasing her home. The woman is now suing the seller, claiming the symbol was purposely hidden during the inspection. It's mine now, and I don't want it, but it's mine. I own it, which is horrific. I was just shocked, mortified, the woman said. The seller said he installed the floor in the 1970s and said the swastika symbol is a positive thing, arguing that it was a popular design on greeting cards and sports uniforms in the 1920s. The explanation the seller gave basically is that the swastika is an ancient symbol that means many different things in many different cultures, and in most cultures, it's a positive thing. The tiled swastika is reportedly about 6 foot in diameter. So I just want to point this out, that this lady is complaining about a tile floor in a basement. All right, before we get into this, the lady is complaining about a tiled floor in her basement that she could easily just knock the tile out or put a carpet over or something, or not even complain about it. But this is just like something this Karen lady wants to complain about. And I look at it, and to me, it doesn't look like a German war eagle in a swastika. It looks like the what is it, the Navajo thing where they have the bird and then the swastika symbol, and I'll show it. I have some pictures of it, which they use, and that's what it looks more like to me. So I don't know.
It's mine now, and I don't want it, but it's mine. I own it, which is horrific.
After months of searching, Lynn Ray Wentworth and her husband were thrilled to find what they thought was their dream home.
We loved the historical nature of it and the fact that there's opportunity to update it and still keep that flair.
During the home inspections and walkthrough, they say everything seemed to be okay, and they ended up buying it in 2023. But months after moving in, Lynn Ray says she was in the basement with her nephew, working to clean up a few things left behind by the seller, and it wasn't until they removed a large rug and table that they found a very large problem.
I came down and I was like, there's something tiled into the floor here, and you take a step over here and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a swastika.
Nearly 6 feet in diameter, a swastika and what appears to be a German war eagle were discovered permanently tiled into the floor.
I was just shocked, mortified.
The Wentworths hired attorney Daniel Stoner, who filed a lawsuit arguing the symbols were a material defect in the home that the seller failed to disclose.
We believe this is something that should have been disclosed to them from the start, and they should have been given the option as to whether or not this is something they would want to be in their home.
Stoner says the seller apparently installed the symbols in the floor himself back in the 70s and argued the swastika symbol was a popular design on greeting cards, soft drinks, and sports uniforms back in the 1920s.
The explanation that they gave basically is that the swastika is an ancient symbol that means many different things in many different cultures, and in most cultures it's a positive thing.
In court paperwork,
Yeah.
the seller's attorney also argues the Wentworths
2 years
had full
later.
access to the home prior to buying and could have moved the table and rug at any time to discover what was underneath.
They're claiming basically that this is just a cosmetic feature of the house. It doesn't constitute a defect, and therefore they didn't have to disclose that to them. That is their position.
But the Wentworths disagreed, saying they may not have purchased the home had they known.
This is our home.
Okay, you may not have purchased it, but it's not a structural thing. It's a tile floor. The tile can get ripped up easily. It's not permanent. Yeah. The blur is very retarded. The blur is very retarded because I'd like to see what it actually looks like to see if it's actually a swastika, if they're just. Yeah, she had no idea until she ripped out the carpet. It's not like the owner lied about termites. Exactly. And there's other stories that I got pulled up about this too, where it was like other things, and I'm going to show like this because, yeah, it's cosmetic, lady. Hey, we're an hour and a half into the show, and I just want to point out to everybody that, the banner says for every $75 in donations across all platforms, including memberships, the show will be extended by 1 additional hour. We are currently at $55 away from the first additional hour. We have about 30 minutes to go, but that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, yeah, it's hilarious. She had no idea until she ripped out 20-foot by 17-foot piece of carpet. Yeah, and also remember to smash the like button.
This is where we live. This is where we have family.
I mean, I want you to hold on, but look at this eagle that they're talking about. That looks like the Thunderbird, like a Navajo Thunderbird to me. That doesn't look like a war eagle.
This is where we live. This is where we have family. We weren't able to make an informed decision about a huge purchase in our lives. We were denied that opportunity simply because somebody couldn't take 5 seconds to say, hey, take a look at the basement floor. There's some symbols down there.
They say they believe the seller intentionally hid the symbols, knowing it could be a problem.
I mean, why would they have kept the rug when they were cleaning out? Why would you set a table right smack dab over something unless you were hiding it?
Stoner says this case is the first of its kind in Pennsylvania and says the Wentworths want to see the law changed, making it a crime to not disclose permanently installed hate symbols in a home.
Oh Jesus! So you know what? I think this lady. I think they bought the. I'm starting to think they bought the house on purpose to sue. That they saw it, they knew it was there, and they wanted to wait and sue because they want to have this law changed. It's hate symbols. It's not a hate symbol for everybody. We're going to show you. We're going to show you right now. We're going to go through it. Maybe it's just Navajo symbols, and the bird is the Thunderbird, not the German war eagle. Oh, gee, look at that. That's what we call that's what we call it, Navajo. Yeah, hate speech laws for home decorating. Isn't it crazy? Yeah. He just wants attention. I think it's always a plan to sue, and we want to get the law changed because obviously it's the first of its kind lawsuit. Guess what? That generally doesn't work out well. And we got this: the floor of Ellicott Square Business Building in Buffalo, New York. Not a Nazi symbol, but a Dutch symbol. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's a frivolous lawsuit. She should get. She should have to pay his attorney fees and stuff. Mm-hmm. Interestingly, the swastika origin does not come from Nazis. There's been many issues in my tribe about this symbol. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be funny when she has to pay his lawyer bills. Mhm. The swastika-like symbol found on Osage Nation artifacts is known as the whirling log. It was a traditional symbol of good fortune, harmony, and movement, used before its negative association with Nazis. And while other Native American cultures also use similar symbols, the Osage, like many other tribes, including the Navajo and Apache, stopped using the whirling log after World War II due to its appropriation by the Nazis. Today, older examples of the symbol can still be seen in pre-World War II structures and on artifacts, though its use in contemporary artwork has become controversial and is largely discontinued. You can see it right there, the whirling log. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. This guy smoking peace pipe with it. Man, this guy, he's got it on his neck and on his headdress. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the symbol is all over decorative homes in India. It's also all over older homes all over the United States and old homes in Detroit and Chicago and buildings. It's everywhere. The symbol's literally thousands of years old. You can see it in ancient Chinese temples. It's found all over the place in Hindu temples in India. Obviously that Indian was a Nazi. Obviously. Hmm. Yeah, the ones they haven't torn down yet. I know what you mean. Yeah. It's painted on the storefronts in Navajo Nation, northeastern North Arizona. It's everywhere. That's what I'm saying. It's like all these people, it's all over Skokie. Mhm. Here's this. This is in front of the elevators. The movie The Natural was filmed here. This is the elevator where he gets, I think he's coming out and gets shot, if I'm not mistaken, by the woman. Look right there on the floor. What's that? Oh, yeah. It's right there. Yeah. Your high school's library had it to border around its whole ceiling. Yeah. Hmm. Originally built in 1915 and completely rebuilt in 1974, the San Francisco Palace of Fine Arts has swastikas all over the place. Look at it. Look at them all. Swastikers over there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See them all? Oh, yeah, look. They're all over the place. They're on all those things. The Palace of Fine Arts, completely rebuilt. It's the only structure from the exposition that survives on site. Well, the damn Californians, well, California and San Francisco, they must love Nazis, according to this. And so here's, CBS has got a. It's amazing the power the Nazis had to taint things. After World War II, the name Adolf basically died out, and no one likes little mustaches anymore. Well, I have to say that I'd still prefer Adolf's meat tenderizer seasoning for my steaks. I buy Adolf's seasoning, for meat, for meat tenderizer. Adolf's really good, and the seasoned version is good too. Good to use. I still use it. I'm not afraid. It's stupid people like this that make me want to go to Mars with Elon. A swastika was discovered inside a couple's new home. They're suing, saying it should have been disclosed. After buying a home in Beaver County, Pennsylvania, a couple says they were appalled when they found a swastika permanently toweled into the basement floor. Yeah. Yeah, there's swastikas everywhere. I know it's that dastardly orange blonde of Blump's fault. Yeah. Well, Nazis were all socialists, so. Funny thing, there's a famous cantaloupe from my hometown that the Germans imported as a fruit crop, and they call it the Hitler melon. It's specific to the county I grew up in. You'll follow to Mars just to infiltrate for sport. Oh, good. Oh. They found a swastika permanently tiled. If it's not permanently tiled to the basement floor, you can rip the tile out. They're lying. There's nothing permanent about the floor tile. People rip tile out all the time and retile it. A couple things: the hate symbol was intentionally hidden during the home inspection. Now they're suing. Attorney General Stoner is representing the home buyers. He filed an appeal in the court after the judge ruled the case was similar to one where someone purchased a home and later learned about a murder-suicide that took place inside, which was never disclosed. Yeah. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. They were founded. The KKK was founded by Democrats. Yeah, like pot sticker, SWAT sticker. Yeah. See, so the case was already thrown out, and then they're trying to appeal it because the judge was like, "Yeah, you can't do this." They also discovered what appears to be a German war eagle. It could be. It could be any number. It could be any. It could be an American eagle. What do you? The accent is great. Chicagorean. Donor says the hate symbols inside the client's home constitute more than just psychological damage. What the fuck? Unlike past crime happening in a home, these symbols are physical features still in the home, more closely resembling an act of vandalism. That would be considered damage and ultimately a material defect his clients were entitled to know about before purchasing. It's mine now. I don't want it, but it's mine. The lady's the proud owner of swastikas now. So she's a swastika owner. It took months of searching before Wentworth, her husband, found what they thought was their dream home. So their dream home has swastikas in it. She's a Nazi lady. Nazi lady, dream home lady, got a dream home with Nazi symbols. During the home inspection and walkthrough, they said everything seemed okay, and they ended up buying it in 2023. This is 2025, people. But months after moving in, she says she was cleaning the basement with her nephew, working to clean up a few things. And it wasn't until they removed the large rug and table they found a very big problem. There's something tiled on the floor. Oh my gosh, it's a swastika. Nearly 6 feet in diameter, the swastika and what appears to be a German war eagle were discovered permanently tiled on the floor. I was just shocked, mortified. We'll pay for the point to make her go away. You want the story to go away, Allegan News? Well, I mean, we do have a goal, and if you see the thing, we're gonna, we're fastly approaching end of the second hour, which would be the end of the show if we don't meet the goal. Anyway, so we'll go on to this, and then I wanted to show because this is another story, which is so tiled swastika floor discovered underneath hardwood in Indiana jeweler store. And this is from 2022, so this isn't the first time. A jewelry store in Indiana lifted up the hardwood flooring to uncover tiles covered in swastikas. The Redditor shared a picture of the intricate flooring. That's interesting for him. Hey, thank you, Terry, for the $5. So that brings us closer to the goal. That brings us to just $50 now. We're only $50 away from extending it by an hour. Those tiles look very old. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the tiles there, his house is permanently tainted because of the cosmic juju. What would it take for Jim to do a 24-hour stream? A lot more than $50. Here's a wild off-topic. Couple gives birth to a baby at Burning Man. Women didn't realize she was pregnant. What? The women didn't realize she was pregnant? I do have a story somewhere in the stack about Burning Man that now that what's her face, the Nicole Shanahan, who was RFK's running mate, says that Burning Man is satanic. She said she used to go there for years, but now she thinks it's satanic. And I have a story somewhere in the stack about the satanic doctor that was fired or resigned from the CDC. But I don't know if we'll make it there. Yeah. It will take 3 times what it took him to do an 8-hour stream. That's correct. They said this tile floor was found under hardwood while renovating a jewelry store. The shape is most often associated with the Nazi Party, but the symbol predates the war with a long history used spanning 15,000 years. Yeah, after it was found scratched in an ivory figurine made with mammoth tusk. That's just math. It's been used by cultures around the world for a myriad of different purposes throughout history. It's Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, as well as styled across Christianity, ancient Asiatic cultures, patterns in art, Greek currency, medieval, Renaissance, Baroque Baroque architecture and Iron Age artifacts. Well, I don't know what's this. No, it's more than that. It's $75 an additional hour, so be a lot more than that. I mean, I could probably arrange a discounted rate if we were going to actually go for a 24-hour stream, but $600 is actually, if it's $75 for each additional hour, then it wouldn't be that. And even if it was $50 for each additional hour, that would still be only 12 hours. Yeah, $1,200 definitely would be a 24-hour stream. Definitely, most definitely. I could do that discounted rate. Anyway, so here's the flooring, and you can see this flooring and these tiles. And these are old tiles. They don't do these tiny little tiles like that anymore anywhere. Those are all old. That's probably from around. You'll do the 24-hour stream? What? You're gonna broadcast for 24 hours, Mark? That's crazy. The Redditor shared more information in the post comments, although it didn't name the shop, claiming the building was built in the 1800s and this is the original floor. The thing about the 24, I plan on doing Trump. You're saying I plan on doing the 24-hour stream when I hit 5,000 subs. I was going to do a 24-hour stream anyway, without but whatever. But like 24-hour stream, something that's got to be planned out. I got to have like the correct timing on it and everything. No, you'll make me do a 24-hour stream. Oof. Well, no doubt it was built pre-World War II. It's highly likely the floor could have been covered post-Second World War, so as not to link it to atrocities. The National World War II Museum estimates worldwide doesn't go. So you see, it just happens all the time. So that's basically it on that story. I never thought the backwards ones counted, but anyway. So now we're going to go on to the next story. And the next story is kind of was sent to me by one of our awesome chat members. It's about Sharia law coming to the United States. So let's see. It says Garden City man accused of threatening harm to Dearborn Arba'in March attendees. A Garden City, Michigan man is accused of making threats to people attending a March for Justice event Saturday in Dearborn. Anthony Young was arraigned Monday on one misdemeanor count of malicious use of telecommunications services. Dearborn police say Young was arrested within hours after he allegedly made threats to harm those attending annual Arba'in procession on Saturday. Arba'in? I don't know. Nonprofit Karbala Islamic Educational Center said the event honored Imam Hussein, the prominent figure in Islam. Police say they learned of the threats allegedly made by Young as part of the department's online monitoring operations. So the police department has online monitoring operations. So just like in England, in the UK, there's police departments in the US that are monitoring what you say online and arresting you for it. Let that sink in. Dearborn Police Chief Issa Shaheen, obviously not a Muslim, and Dearborn Mayor Abdullah Hamoud issued the following joint statement on Saturday in response to Young's alleged threats. When someone threatens violence against our community, we will act swiftly and decisively. There is zero tolerance for threats of this nature, and anyone who attempts to sow fear or division will be held fully accountable. It's very common for law enforcement to have online monitoring. Just wait until this new federal program rolls out. They were using AI to monitor the internet for threats. So much for the Fourth Amendment. Yeah, that's what I said. And no, they are Native Americans. Maybe. And for the safety and unity of our community. Young was given a $5,000 bond and ordered to wear a GPS tether. So just keep in mind, this guy said words online. and he's got to wear a GPS tether. But other people who are assaulting people are getting let out. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was, oh wait. Oh my God, it was blurred. I've been traumatized. I'm going to sue. Here in Huron, Michigan, we have, I believe, the largest population of Muslims, Middle Eastern people outside of the Middle East. Yeah. Dearborn Police ensures safety and security at the many cherished community events that occur in our city, both by our presence, planning, and preparedness, but also by vigilantly monitoring online spaces for threats made against citizens. We will always pursue arrests and accountability from individuals in such cases. Said Dearborn Police Chief Issa Shaheen. The Shia Muslim Foundation, a nonprofit supporting the civil rights of American Shia Muslims, says it's deeply alarmed by the alleged threats. Yeah, words are evil, actions don't matter. It's what's starting to seem like. So that's what CBS says, but let's see what this other site has to say about it. It says, Sharia arrest in Dearborn, non-Muslim jail for Facebook post while Islamic death chants go unpunished. Huh. Arrested for a Facebook post, this guy. Dearborn has become the model city of America's double standard, where a non-Muslim can be jailed for a reckless Facebook post, but Muslims can openly chant death to America and glorify terrorists without consequences.
Why has no one told you that memory loss can be reversed without expensive medications? I'm 66 years old, but
This common drink may be the fastest solution to eliminate the parasite behind type 2 diabetes.
In Dearborn, Michigan, now a Muslim-majority city, free speech is dead, and Sharia justice has taken a hold. Anthony Young, a 27-year-old non-Muslim, makes a reckless Facebook post, and Dearborn police rush in, arrest him, and treat him like a terrorist. Meanwhile, year after year in Dearborn, Muslims openly march chanting "Death to America," praising Hezbollah, while police look the other way. This didn't happen by accident. In 2021, Abdullah Hammoud became the first Arab American and Muslim ever elected mayor of Dearborn. In 2022, Hammoud appointed fellow Muslim Issa Shaheen as police chief, a man who studied Middle Eastern politics in Cairo. Together, they've turned Dearborn into a city of two-tier justice: protection for Muslims, punishment for everyone else. His remark came during the annual Arba'in March in Dearborn, led by Imam Husham al-Husseini, a man with a long record of supporting Hezbollah, defending Iran, and refusing to condemn terrorism. Under his leadership, thousands flood the street, chanting "Death to America." Anthony Young's so-called crime? A careless, vague Facebook remark. Someone should show up and let a couple of clips out. He didn't say "I will." He didn't make a plan. And for that, Dearborn police treated him like a terrorist. And here's the double standard. In 2017, a California man threatened to burn down the home of a deputy. Far more direct, far more violent. The charges were dropped as protected speech. But in Dearborn, vague words from a non-Muslim is treated like a terrorist plot. For that one vague post, a half dozen armed officers stormed his home.
I don't know if that's a threat. Under the Brandenburg Standard, I'm pretty sure that's not a threat to say someone should show up and let off a couple of clips. Because he's not even saying anyone should get shot. Oh, Trumpinator says it's his third super chat and he feels lonely that only 2 or 3 others have joined him. Well, I really appreciate it. And that lowers the goal down here to $45 for an additional hour. Yeah, you heard worse threats than most rap songs. Well, here's the thing. That's why they charge it as a misdemeanor or a city ordinance violation, because unless you got big money to challenge it federally and pay a bunch of money to take it to the federal courts and fight it out, like tens of thousands of dollars, you're just going to eat it and it's just be a charge. But because they put him on a tether and stuff, I think he might be able to do something. Hey, look at this. Jason Lizotte says, a little to help. Well, thank you very much for the $10. That'll bring us down to $35 to hit the goal for an extra hour. Yeah, someone you call Barnes, you're right, he meant clips from Dancing with the Stars because they should dance. Actually, this is what the ACLU used to do. This is what the ACL should be doing. This is the ACLU's job, is to protect freedom of speech. But they'll only do it for left wings. Like if a Muslim got arrested for chanting death to America or death to whatever, they would go and defend him. But not this guy. It's crazy. Exactly.
Home and dragged him away in cuffs. On Instagram, police bragged they'd nabbed a white male for, quote, dangerous online threats. Then came the pretrial punishment. Judge Mark Summers set a $5,000 bond, money he may not even have, imposed an internet ban to silence him online, and ordered a GPS ankle shackle to track his every move. All of this before trial has even begun. It's the same logic as Sharia's jizya tax, non-Muslims forced to pay for their place in society. In Dearborn, Anthony Young is already paying his jizya in court fees and shackles. Note to Michigan voters, Judge Mark Summers' term ends January 1st, 2027. Remember the date and keep him off the bench. Yet when thousands march through Dearborn chanting death to Israel and death to America, waving Hamas headbands and glorifying terrorists, police stand by and do nothing. Not one arrest, not even a warning. Hamas, cares. Dawood Walid demanded hate crime charges against Young. That's rich, coming from a man who has defended jihad and even endorsed killing Jews. At the same time, tax-exempt mosques in Dearborn hold memorials for Hezbollah terrorists on U.S. soil. And even local Dearborn media outlets glorify the jihadi martyrs. At a rally last year, Hezbollah's leader was called a hero. Jews were told to go back to Poland. Chants of death to America filled the air. Mayor Hamoud was there. Did he condemn it? No. He hugged the speaker. Worse, Hamoud used the stage to push the BDS movement, an anti-Jewish campaign straight from the Nazis' playbook. Instead of policing real threats, Dearborn brags about monitoring people's Facebook posts. Just like London under Muslim Mayor Sadiq Khan, who deployed hundreds of officers to police so-called online hate. And like London, the people who get punished are non-Muslims. Move over two-tier Keir Starmer in London, because Dearborn has two-tier Abdullah Hamoud. And here's the bigger picture. For years, we've heard how bad things have become in Britain. Police arresting ordinary citizens for offensive words. Just recently, a young man in Cumbria was hauled away in handcuffs for saying 3 simple words. We love bacon. His only crime was affirming his own culture. Meanwhile, Muslim mobs march freely in London, chanting death to Israel and calling for communist revolutions with no consequence. That was Britain. But now it's America. In Dearborn, Anthony Young is jailed for a Facebook post, while militant Muslims chant death to America with police protection. From Dalton to Dearborn, the pattern is unmistakable. Western culture is criminalized, Islamic incitement excused.
Wow. That's crazy. Dearborn, Michigan has become the model city for America's double standard, a place where the mayor and police chief can both draw from a radical aligned Islamic community, wield power not to protect free speech, but to punish dissent. In November 2021, Abdullah Hamoud made the first Arab American Muslim elected as mayor of Dearborn. Hey, good night, Mother Papillons. He elevated Issa Shaheen to become the first Muslim police chief. Shaheen is a 47-year-old son of an Egyptian father and Albanian mother, married to a Jordanian-American woman who now controls Dearborn's law enforcement arm. Together, Hamoud and Shaheen represent a historic shift. Both of Dearborn's most powerful offices, political and police, are now held by Muslim men deeply tied to a very controversial Islamic community. And that fact matters because under their leadership, a troubling pattern has emerged. Non-Muslims are punished for reckless words, while Muslims are shielded when they chant open incitement. Dearborn's new reality came into focus this month when Anthony Young, 27, allegedly made a foolish comment about the annual Abalayin March in Dearborn during a Facebook argument. This comment has led to shocking repercussions. The procession commemorates the martyrdom of Muhammad's grandson, Imam Hussein Husaniani, killed in 680 AD during the Battle of Karbala. Imam Hussein al-Rasha leads the Aryan procession, where thousands of Shia Muslims take to the streets. His mosque, the Karbala Islamic Educational Center, is named after the town where Imam Hussein was martyred. Today, the whole world needs the meaning of the movement of Imam Hussein. Wait a minute. The meaning, see, wasn't he martyred? So why would the whole world need to be martyred? Isn't that hate speech? This guy's saying the whole world needs to be martyred? What the hell is he doing here? Wow. It sure looks like, doesn't that look right there look like an army? Doesn't that look like an army marching? So that's on their advertising as they're showing an army invading army? Huh. Yeah. The Muslims are doing the infiltrating. We have to stop it. It's like flag burning. How do we tolerate these people? They hate us. We have to sell the, yeah, definitely. Well, folks, fortunately, a foolish comment or a genuine threat. Young allegedly made a reckless comment. Someone should show up and let a couple of clips out. Within hours, multiple officers descended on his homes to arrest him. The phrase implies violence, but its indirect wording makes it vague, speculative, and far from a credible threat. Still, Dearborn police treat it like a terrorist storming his house as if words alone were bullets. Previous day, the mayor warned that threats against our community will be met with zero tolerance. When someone threatens violence against our community, we'll act swiftly and decisively. The safety and unity, yeah. According to Dearborn News, the Facebook post continued to monitor social media and other platforms to identify potential threats. However, it was the community that brought the threat to the police's attention. It was probably some guy he was arguing with that kept egging him on and messing with them. Dearborn police declared that they got the white male who was making dangerous online threats. What? Dearborn police took a 27-year-old white male from Garden City into custody within hours after he allegedly made threats to harm those attending, but he didn't make threats. It's not a threat. He was charged with one count of malicious use of telecommunication services. The bond was set at $5,000. Ordered to wear a GPS tether. This is brutal. Dearborn police ensures safety and security at many chairs. Why would he have to wear a GPS monitor for a misdemeanor? I got into an argument with some people on Facebook, he says in the body cam footage. Oh. Incident brings to mind a 2017 case. Well, Robert Peralta, who was arrested for a Facebook saying, "Let's burn this MFer's house down," about a sheriff's deputy. The charge was dropped because it was deemed protected speech, not a credible threat or incitement, despite its inflammatory tone. Peralta's mark was much stronger than Anthony's Young, but Peralta walked free. While in Dearborn on Facebook leads a man to jail. Death to America and glorifying Hezbollah don't. Last year at the Quds Day militant rally in Dearborn, they had a Quds Days. They're championing the Quds Force. Death to America, death to Israel was shouted from the stage. No one was arrested. No one was investigated. Not a single police officer was dispatched. Yeah. Amy Mack says, Allahu Akbar, Michigan. Dearborn is ground zero for Islam in the U.S. Just days ago, hundreds gathered to honor Hezbollah's Hassan Nasrallah, Islamic terrorist responsible for killing 241 Americans, waging jihad against Jews and Christians. His Muslim followers openly. Yeah, so. I started chanting about killing Jews stuff, so that's fine, I guess, according to the police there, because they're Muslims. They spoke to Stand with Lebanon. Oh, Rudd puts a $20 treats for Bella. Well, there she goes. Bella gets to come out and play now for the 20. Thank you very much. And that brings our goal to $15. We are $15 away from going an extra hour. $15 away from going an extra hour. Thank you so much. We can technically the goal has already lapsed on the extra hour, but I guess I'll let it run for another 30 minutes. If we get that $15 in the next half hour, I'll run an extra hour. But I got some other stories I wanted to talk about. Anyway, thank you so much, Rudd. They said, believe me, they will take care of the job. Apparent reference to Hezbollah's attack on Israel. Yeah. So basically, we got to really be careful what's going on in this country. Got to watch because little things like this are happening. You know, you have that woman, you know, in that yesterday, the story, the woman in Minnesota who the guy came up to her and kept saying the N-word. So she says it back. And I don't know if she said it to someone before that, but he says it to her multiple times. She says it back to him. So they arrest her for hate speech or disorderly conduct. But the guy that said it before, low watermark says, what, $15? Okay, so now we're going to go an extra hour. There we go. There we go. Thank you, low watermark, for the extra hour. So we'll do this, and we're going to correct this, and we're going to do this and say for 1 additional hour, we are currently at okay, so now we are at the extra hour. So we're currently at $75 away from the second additional hour. Hey, people, we can get to if we stick together. Yeah, well, it's a. And now Gail just began the next target with $10. Oh, she did. There you go. Thanks, Gail. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Now I got to correct this, and we'll do this. Banners. Hide. I got to do this. Now we're $65 away from the second hour. I didn't see that one come in. Okay. Let me do this. And I will start another goal. And this goal on the chat is just, it doesn't, it's going to be the same thing, but it doesn't matter. I keep track in my head anyway. I just do this so people can see it. So 15 super chats, $5 for 1 hour. And okay. Not poor Jim. Jim's fine. Everything's going to be fine. Jim's well rested. Jim slept until noon today. So now we're going to go on to some Sharia, some other places, which we really got to be careful. Oh, yeah, I was talking about Shiloh Hendricks and that stuff. So we're going to have to watch because this is what's happening around the world. And they're bringing it here. They are bringing it here. Thank you very much, Gail. Yep, $65 to go for a second additional hour. So they sent the entire department to arrest a 14-year-old girl defending herself.
Die hat schon blaues Fleck da hinten bei ihm. Ist hier nicht weg. Platz! Entspannt. So an die Arme ziehen! Warum muss man einen Minderjährigen so an die Arme ziehen? Warum muss man einmal aus dem Weg, Polizei, weg! Ja, so, und da wird zugemacht. Keiner kommt hier rein. Einmal bitte hier rüber. Warum einen Minderjährigen?
Yes. And then here, the video is not related to this is not related to the Scottish girl. This is a different girl, another girl, but the video is not related to the Scottish girl. Alicia Angelique Mueller, a 14-year-old teenager, was violently apprehended by German police during a pro-Palestinian demonstration in Berlin. Yes, those are Germans. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Those is Germans. So this girl was, there's a pro-Palestinian protest, and this girl was protesting the pro-Palestinian protesters, and so she got arrested.
Einmal links raus.
That's all I can ask.
Hey, Chris. Ja, langsam, ey.
I don't know what that noise is. It's very aggravating. Wait, what? It's a very well-known pro-Palestinian protester. Okay, I read the story wrong then. I saw that she was protesting the pro-Palestinian thing and that they went and arrested her. So if that's the case, well, either way, they arrested this girl for whatever reason, for words or something. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. Maybe she said, I don't know, but it's Germany. And if Germany, if you say something like anything, I don't know. But anyway, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This is when it came up when I saw this when it said, I was researching this story about the 14-year-old Scottish girl she was protesting with the Palestinians. She has been arrested and put on the media several times. There's a lot of accounts that are saying she was arrested for all kinds of stuff. Okay. Yeah, the accounts I saw was saying that she was in danger because she was protesting against the Palestinians protesters and they were threatening her and she was saying stuff and I don't know. Oh, a bunch of accounts were pushing it to get clicks off the Scottish girl. Well, they got me. Why was the 14-year-old Scottish girl arrested? She only tried to defend her 12-year-old sister from a migrant because politicians and authorities keep running away from responsibility. We now live in a world where a child shows more courage than the very adults meant to protect them. So, girl 14 charged after a bladed weapon incident in Dundee. Police said police were called to St. Anne Lane in Loch on Saturday night. I just want to point out that this happened in Dundee. And remember, Crocodile Dundee said, "That's not a knife. This is a knife."
Yeah. Yes, you have a knife.
Why are you fucking 12 me? You fucking bad and
Why are you fucking me up?
These are fucking kid bastards.
Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife.
Away from us.
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch it.
That's it. That's it. Show the knife. Show the knife.
That's
it.
not a knife.
That's my little sister. She had fucking 12. We're not fucking touching me. She has fucking 12 and you just bastards me. You're like fucking touching me.
Yeah, show the knife. Maratha.
What you're doing to me, don't touch me. No, you don't dare.
Okay, so that's the girl. And I thought this was cool. Look at her. This is her. She's going to take over. She's going to be the thing that saves Scotland. Well, you better grow a pair of minerals there, Scottish men. Only the traders help invaders. That's right. Look at this, Lagatha. Lagatha wouldn't fuck around. Does everyone know who Lagatha is? Lagatha Lothbrok. You guys don't know? She's a warrior, yeah. You don't know who Lagatha is? You never seen Vikings? The TV series Vikings? With Ragnar Lothbrok and Rollo Lothbrok, the invasion, and Ivar the Boneless, and what's his name? Bjorn Ironsides. Yeah, she's modern day Braveheart. Yeah, it is terrible. The fact that this 14-year-old Scottish girl, such a great show. I wish it would have made more. Yeah, right. That it was just caught. That was an awesome show. I did not like the whole path that it went down with the whole when Ragnar got killed. Though I was like, why? Keep it going, man. But that guy's been in a bunch of other stuff. That actor's been in a bunch of other stuff. He's really good. You've never seen it? It was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. It was what was it? What was it? An A&E show or something? It was a regular show on cable, but it went to like Netflix and stuff like that. It's really good. Vikings, really, really, really good. Excellent, actually, I must say. And it's sort of historical. No. The Vikings show I'm talking about has like 6 or 7 seasons. It has like 6 or 7 seasons. and it's you know, like you can get it on Vudu or you can buy it or you can watch. There's places you can watch it. Just Vikings might be on Amazon. I think it's on Amazon now. Actually, it's Vikings. It's like yeah. Yeah, it's really good. Check it out. It's right there. You know, if you want another good recommendation of show, you might want to watch on the History Channel. Okay, it was originally on the History Channel. Yeah, it was like 6 or 7 seasons, and then Netflix got it. But Ray Donovan is great. TV show was a great TV show. Mhm. You know, Justified. I love Justified. Was a great TV show. There hasn't been any good, like honestly, the only TV show that's came out in the last few years that I think is really good. Uh, it's a famous Viking tale. Yeah, it's like a famous tale about you know, Ragnar and Lagertha and I think like it's wasn't his actual brother, but like a second or third like generation down was Raleigh that ended up marrying the king of France's daughter and stuff like stuff, and actually did become that's where the Vikings they got into Normandy and Normand. Anyway, enough about that. But like I said, Mobland, fantastic. If you haven't seen Mobland with Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan and the chick, can't think of her name. She's a very famous actress is in it. It's awesome. Check it out. Yeah, the fact that a 14-year-old Scottish girl was arrested within hours for defending herself and her sister from some creeper whilst child gang grapers were left alone for decades to avoid inflaming racial tensions is disgusting beyond words. True Blood was a great show too. Yeah, True Blood was a great show. Mhm. And they forgot to blur her face. Cabana's identity was hidden. Yeah, the guy's identity was hidden, but not hers. Her supposed name's been leaked, but it hasn't been verified if it's her. Local news reported 14, the others were 12. Girl on bladed weapons charge. 14-year-old girl has been charged after allegedly being caught with a bladed weapon in Dundee. Police were called just after Coupar Angus Road. It followed reports of a girl having a bladed weapon. Several police cars were sent to the scene. Police Scotsman told around 7:40 p.m. they received a report of a female youth with a bladed weapon. Officers attended, and a 14-year-old girl was charged in connection. She will be reported to the relevant authorities. They should all get the. You know. I still watch. I still have the whole series of All in the Family that I watch on occasion when I get bored and want to laugh because it's still funny today. You know, Archie Bunker is still hysterical today, in my opinion. And it is. Hey, look at here's a Torah fan. Why is she not in the chat? She's here. Not only your family, but your daughters are at risk. You idiots. Yeah. Helen Mirren, yes, is also excellent. It's a Guy Ritchie, also on Netflix as well, one called The Gentleman. Yeah, The Gentleman series. There's two. There's the movie The Gentleman, with is really good with the guy that was in Sons of Anarchy and what's his name? Matthew McConaughey is in the movie The Gentleman, and what's his name? The other guy. Man, I can't think of his name now. Oh man, he's awesome in it. The guy that played remember in the Daredevil movie, the guy that played Deadeye, right? Or no, was his name Deadeye? No. Oh fuck! My brain is fried up. But anyway, he's a I can't think of his name. Son of a bitch. Anyway, awesome in it. Awesome movie. The Gentleman movie is awesome. And the series is pretty good too. The series is a little different than the movie. The movie I think was a little better than the series, Gentleman. But yeah. So this is Young Queen of Scots. Police arrest 12-year-old Scottish girl and clash with migrants. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Colin Farrell, yes. Colin Farrell, yes. He's in the Gentleman movie. Excellent. He plays the coach, a boxer, and they do all this great. It's great, man. The movie's great. A lot of fun. Scottish girl who was arrested by police in Dundee after an altercation with migrant has become a local hero and sparked a movement in the UK. Young girl dubbed the Young Queen of Scots was charged after brandishing a weapon during an altercation with at least one adult, a migrant man. The viral video of the incident shows a man with a foreign accent filming young girls. He repeatedly yells at one of the girls, reportedly only 12 years old, shouting to her, show the knife. Although the girl, accompanied by another young girl, continues to back away, it is the man who continues to approach the girls, taunting the children. The terrified girl then brandishes a hatchet and a knife. One girl tells the man filming her not to get close, shouting, "Don't touch my sister. She's 12. She's effing 12. It is the child, however, who was charged in the incident. This is crazy. 12-year-old girl's been charged with being in possession of offensive weapons. Oh, you're watching Airwolf the other night? Yeah. Airwolf was always my favorite. It's a shame what happened to I can't think of the actor's name. He had a real bad car accident, I think, right? And yeah, I know Airwolf. I knew what it was. Airwolf was good. Blue Thunder, remember that movie was good? Back when they used to make stuff like that. And we would like to thank the local community for their help in our investigation and urge the public not to share misinformation about the incident or speculate on the circumstances. Police Scotland had previously told Blaze News through a spokesman that no adults were arrested or charged in relation with the same incident. Braveheart. 14-year-old girl in Dundee was arrested after brandishing a knife. There was, from what the story I was reading, there was a lot more stuff that went on before that happened. Like he was like Jan Michael Vincent, yeah, Jan Michael Vincent. He had like horrible happened to him, and like we're messing with them, and supposedly this guy, like I don't know. There's rumors that this guy that was doing this was like trying to pimp out girls and get young girls and stuff, and I don't know, just real creepy. He was going after these girls, telling them that they're pretty and beautiful and stuff, and they're like 12 and 14 years old, and so. Raises tough questions: public safety, self-defense, how media frames migrant crime. The story won't fade.
Yes, you have a knife.
Fucking profit! You're fucking bad and
Why are you fucking with us?
These are fucking kid bashers!
Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get away from us!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her!
That's it. That's it. Show the knife.
Don't touch my way!
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister! She ain't fucking 12! Where's her fucking country? She's fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate! Where's my fucking country?
Yeah, show the knife. Maratha.
Don't touch her gun to me! Don't touch her!
Unsurprising, the British press has framed the migrant as the victim of the child. Yeah. This is the man accused of harassing children and threatening by a 4-year-old girl in Scotland. Fatos Ali Dumamam, a self-described gypsy gangster man, was posted saying he is waiting for you whores to get in my supercar. Is not the model migrant, the media claims. This reminds me when it was Iraq, where a man wanted to marry the 9-year-old, and the Taliban told him he had to wait till she was 12. It was probably Afghanistan if it was the Taliban. But it reminds me of the story of the in Washington State, in the United States, just happened. Iraqi mother and father wanted to ship their daughter off, 14-year-old daughter or 15-year-old daughter off to Iraq to marry an older, like basically Arab and Iraqi man, and she didn't want to go, and they tried to honor kill her basically, and the court wouldn't let them present any evidence about the arranged marriage or that them trying to send their, kidnap her and take her to Iraq. So they found them not guilty of the honor killing, and it's all on video. It's nuts that it could happen in America. Nuts. Yeah. So this is the person that was doing the filming. This is the person that was doing the filming right here, right? Gypsy gangster man. Right here. Going up to these kids. Men of Scotland, you have your assignment. Who are you going to believe, this predator or the little girl defending her sister? I'm waiting for your whores to get in the car. Complicit media now wants you to think this lowlife thug did nothing to trigger this little girl's reaction. Yeah. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I was sharing the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I wasn't sharing the right thing. I'm sorry, everybody. I wasn't sharing the right tab. Son of a bitch. This is the man accused of harassing the girl, self-described gypsy gangster man who was posted he was waiting for your horse to get in my supercar. It is not a model migrant as the media claims. I'm sorry, I was on the wrong thing. Yeah. Scottish media was claiming the girl ran a gang. Mhm. Yeah, here he is. Look at it. Oh, yeah. Ali Dumaman, gypsy gangster man. Mhm. There's, can I get with you? I can do it without you. Don't you forget it. Mhm. I'm waiting for your horse to get in my supercar. Yeah. Men of Scotland, you have your assignment. Who are you going to believe, this predator or the little girl defending her sister? He's got stacks of cash claiming it's UK pussy money, which means he's pimping out girls. The invaders came without women and children because they plan on taking yours. British activist Tommy Robinson noted that weak politicians, authorities, and a full two-tier system rigged against them, legacy media demonizing the native at every given turn in favor of the invader, all under the guise of tolerance. Young girls have been forced to fend for themselves on their own streets. Weak politicians, authorities, and yeah, yes. Yeah, you can believe neither. But most stories are probably there's probably a little bit of truth in some of it, but I have a feeling the UK is going to explode soon. It might get to that point where it actually just goes, goes bananas. The incident has shown the failure of police and the government to protect their citizens and also inspired local men to take to the streets to protect their communities. The men of Scotland are stepping in to patrol Dundee, where the young girls were left to defend themselves from migrant men, and the girls were arrested. Go on, lads. There's supposed to be a very large protest in the UK on September 13th. Some of it sounded like action talk. Well, that's the thing is, they'll arrest anybody in the UK. Like they'll probably go arrest Tommy Robinson again and somehow blame it on him. Anybody that they think can actually, generate a crowd that can actually talk to people and motivate people to do stuff, they can arrest right away. The laws in there are nuts. He's a Bulgarian illegal who's moved straight into the council flat, which white Britons wait decades on a list to get. He has a wife with him and a sister. His sis put the 12-year-old in the hospital. Wow. That's crazy. She can do well. Oh, for Pete's sake, to sound like the first Epstein trial when they accused young girls of being a prostitute and Epstein got away with it. Complete BS. Yeah. Mhm. They're organizing male citizen patrol in the area. We need them in all our big cities. It's a viral video of Scottish girl with knife exposes Western anti-discrimination madness. Oh, this won't work because it's a video of a Scottish girl brandishing a big knife and a small axe and a man recording their confrontation. The scene is extraordinary and revealing. It's been called iconic already, but some Scottish news outlets, such as the Scottish Sun, initially reported that police charged a girl with possession of a knife. Scottish Sun stories, like others that did not mention, let alone delve into other facts and the relevant circumstances that are obvious to anyone who watched the videos. Yeah, no, the UK government does not arrest Muslim predators. They protect those people. There's already an existing protest that day, but some former special forces guys calling for action. Well, eventually, I hope it stays peaceful. Eventually, there was more reporting of facts that dictate an entirely different understanding of what was going on, wholly at odds with early reports that seem to suggest nothing other than a delinquent teenager waved a knife in public. The girl with the weapons, who appears to be about 13 years old, is seen in a video with another girl, was later reported to be her 12-year-old sister. The two are distraught, and the elder is trembling with anger and fear, or perhaps from adrenaline spike produced by a stressful drama in which she's central protagonist. She shouts at the man recording her, and the other man accused them both of being kid bashers. The girl's voice is not clear whose can be heard shouting, "Leave her alone, don't effing touch us." On social media, posts revealed, or at least reported, that the man approached and touched a 12-year-old, and when the other girl told them to leave her alone, they turned to her and assaulted her. Interspersed with the girl's wild words, one hears a calm and mocking foreign man's voice saying, show the knife," which the girl does. Well, I had to say it, though. There isn't a scintilla of doubt about who feels frightened and threatened in the scene. It's inevitable, as it would be, the slight young girls, both of whom are closer to being children than to being women. It's not and could not be the men who appear from another photo posted on the internet to be about twice the girls' age, fully grown, and in the prime of their young male strength. Even with their weapons, the girls could not mount an effective resistance and would easily be overpowered by the men if confrontation descended into outright violence. Not yet. I'll take her if we hit the fourth hour. If we hit the other goal for a fourth hour, I'll take her for a walk before the fourth hour starts. UK conservatives are even more feckless than our Republicans, if you can believe it. Oh, I believe it. What one sees here is the West's decades-long anti-discrimination madness has reached its apotheosis, or perhaps it's nadir. All the salient facts make the story not one about the delinquent girl with a couple of illegal blades, but about girls and women living in fear across Europe because they are forced to live amid migrants who have descended upon their communities and, in many cases, prey upon them. For decades, the Western public has been fed lies such as that women can be just as strong and physically independent as men, that chivalry is a form of improper sexism, that it's racist to regard Asian and Middle Eastern men as ill-suited to our society and more likely to be dangerous than European men, and that it's discrimination to believe one's culture is better than any other. We have reached the point at which, like Winston Smith upon the torturer's table in George Orwell's novel 1984, we are meant to disbelieve what we can plainly see and to accept whatever we are told by authorities and their truckling media. It is nearly 4 decades since the civil rights activist and one-time presidential candidate Jesse Jackson admitted that he felt relief when, upon hearing steps behind him at night, he turned and saw it was a white man. This acknowledgement of who most often commits violent crime has, however, long since been silenced by anti-discrimination ideology that smothers freedom in the West. Simply put, acknowledgement of the inconvenient truths is now seen as racist, discriminatory, and unacceptable. Anti-Trumpian and Trumpian lawfare. This has destroyed the order of European society, and it threatens our own. It has created a two-tier justice system in which people are punished, even jailed, if they intemperately suggest violence against unwanted immigrants. But actual violence by foreigners is forgiven, excused, or concealed. In Britain, the rot has gone further than in most places, but the same moral collapse is evident all over Europe, articulated by almost daily incidents of horror perpetrated by foreigners against their host peoples. It's happening here in the U.S. too. I hate to break it to people. Why did a young Scottish girl brandish weapons? Why did she feel the need to carry them? Why? Why did she feel the need to carry them? What are grown men doing approaching and touching girls as though they were available? What are so many foreigners doing in countries that are not theirs? And where are the indigenous people to do something about it? And why did they never vote for this, to accept them? Sylvia says that the Quran says, go into the world and multiply themselves. Mass immigration is one way to conquer a country. Its borders is quite simple. Well, yeah. There's this one, when English girls were found drugged and drunk in flats with gangs of Pakistani rapists, they arrested the girls. When Scottish girls armed themselves and fend off migrant predators, again, they arrested the girls. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And it says breaking. Muslims in the UK are left visibly shocked as fed-up native-born citizens march through the streets chanting, Allah, Allah, who the fuck is Allah? Really? Really, you're not going to let me play the video? What, did the video get taken down? Are you serious? Why has this been doing this to me lately on some videos on X? I got to go look for this video. I got to go find this video somewhere else because I want to play this video. No. I gotta go find this video now because I want this video. Hmm. Oh, what do you know? No videos pop up for it. You can't find a video anywhere. It's almost like there's a pattern or something going on here. Oh, there's this. There's this one we can show. It says, I can't find a video. I can't find this video anywhere. It says, Sutton man 61 who chanted "Who the F is Allah" is jailed. Look at you. What do you know? David Springs been jailed for 18 months for saying who the fuck is Allah. So you can't say who the fuck is Allah in England or you'll get jailed for 18 months. 62-year-old man made threatening gestures at police chanting "Who the fuck is Allah?" What's threatening gestures? Wow, this is nuts. Nuts, man. Nuts. It got taken down? Yeah. That's what it seems like. They keep taking stuff down, you know, like, because they don't want people to be to get you know, there you go. There's sex offenses in London by nationality. This should tell you everything you need to know. Afghanistan. Wow, look at that. 74.17 out of 100. Look at this. Wow. Look at this chart. Look at this chart. Yep. I'm going to open the image in a new tab real quick. Okay. We can show you this. So we can blow it up a little. So it says sexual offenses by nationality. Okay. Per 10,000. Charged per 10,000. All right. They keep the more they arrest, the more people. Well, here's the thing: the people won't explode if the people don't know about it. If they hide it and take it down and don't let people see it, you know. Look at this. So, out of 10,000, 6.5 people arrested for sex offenses is who the F is Allah? Is British, then the French, Angola, Sierra Leone. Look at this, the way it goes up: Poland, Netherlands, Nigeria. Wow, Saint Lucia. Wow, Ukraine, 15. Look at that, 15.3. Wow. You get up here to Morocco, you're at 25. And then Afghanistan, look at that, 74.17. Eritrea, 65. Algeria, 56. Somalia, 54. Sudan, 42. Albania, wow. Man, it makes these Iraqis, if you start comparing Afghanistan. I mean, this is nuts. Restore Britain. Center for Migration Control. I mean, this is just nuts. Nutso. Nuts. It's nutso. What's going on there? It's nutso. Wow. You can't even get it. Stuff is just nuts. And this is the problem, because you're uncovering the profiteering in the UK asylum contracts, the Clear Springs and Graham King connection. Clear Springs Reedy Homes, founded by Graham King, has become a major player in the UK's asylum system by securing lucrative home office contracts to provide accommodation for asylum seekers in England and Wales. Originally valued over $1 billion over 10 years, but escalating far beyond due to the government's asylum processing backlog. This backlog has forced the use of expensive hotels as temporary housing, where Clear Springs acts as a middleman, coordinating placements and billing the government, which has driven the company's turnover to approximately $1.75 billion annually and boosted its profits 600-fold, from 150,000 to 90 million per year pounds. There's a guy. Yeah, he's making a lot of money. Look at him. This guy's making a lot of money selling out his own country. Graham King, once a caravan park and disco owner, has amassed a personal wealth exceeding over £1 billion through Clear Spring, primarily via dividends and salaries totaling £74.2 million since 1999, making him one of Britain's richest individuals, according to the 2025 Sunday Times Rich List. The company's profits stem directly from these taxpayer-funded contracts, which have ballooned in cost amid the asylum crisis, with Clear Spring profiting as an intermediary in hotel arrangements and other accommodations, despite sustained criticism over poor living conditions. So the bunkers. Oh, they try to obfuscate it by using only one spelling. Yeah. The debunkers only report on the one spelling. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ways to spell Muhammad. Mm-hmm. Including reports of substandard facilities and staff misconduct. A backlog of processing asylum claims has led to an estimated 38,000 asylum seekers being housed in 222 hotels and a further 66,000 in other accommodations in the last year. Clear Springs was founded in 1999 as a property company in Mr. King's home county of Essex. Its latest big UK government contract is a deal to provide accommodations in the south of England and Wales, running until September 2029. The Home Office estimates its worth at $7.3 billion. Previously valued at $1 billion. Oh yeah, Mo, Hamid, and Curly, the three Snooges. The firm's profits climbed from $74.4 million to $119 million in the year ending January 2024, according to the Sunday Times. Amid the financial surge, Clear Spring reported transferring $17 million between 2018 and 2024 to Bespoke Strategy Solutions, a UAE-based firm listed in the company's accounts as providing consultancy services, with King noted as shareholder. However, only the BSS UAE corporate records found in 2022 by Suwaidi Nadu has denied any association with King or receipt of the funds. And no matching entity exists prior to that date, contravening UAE rules requiring unique company names and raising serious questions about the payment's legitimacy. Yeah. This discrepancy, uncovered by Open Democracy and Liberty Investigates in March 2025, prompted Labor MPs to demand an urgent HMRC investigation into what appears to be opaque offshore funneling of public money. But yeah, so it's all over that they're doing this crap. All over. All right, on to the next story. We were on that one quite a long time. Chinese engineer hired by Elon Musk steals XAI's entire code base and posts it to OpenAI. He then allegedly left the company and sold $7 million worth of stock. Musk reportedly stated he accepted a job offer at OpenAI before the upload. So yeah, so this guy stole a bunch of stuff. But see, that's a crime. It's actually not a crime to do what he did. You can't steal secrets stuff. And 600,000 of these guys soon. Thanks, Trump. Elon Musk confirms XAI engineer joined OpenAI and uploaded XAI's entire code base. The engineer had earlier sold $7 million worth of XAI stock before leaving, now facing a lawsuit for stealing Grok trade secrets. I would think it's a crime. This would be a crime. Yeah. Elon says he accepted an offer at OpenAI, then uploaded our entire code base. Jury demand. Actually, it should be a crime. He should be arrested. It's a crime. Yeah. Well, that's what happens. He's wedded to his H-1B. Serves him right. Well, Chinese national. I bet OpenAI isn't the only entity that received a copy of that XAI Git. XAI needs to seriously rethink their hiring practices. Right here is defendant is a Chinese national with a passport issued by the People's Republic of China. He reports to be a permanent resident of Canada and at all relevant times has been a resident of Mountain View, California. Well, he needs to be arrested for espionage, in corporate espionage. What needs to happen. Musk sues engineer for allegedly taking secrets to OpenAI. Yeah, he definitely needs to sue OpenAI as well. Definitely the CCP got a copy. Definitely got a copy. Wapner, definitely Wapner. Definitely Wapner. Definitely Wapner. Elon Musk artificial intelligence startup XAI has sued a former engineer at the company for allegedly stealing trade secrets related to its Grok chatbot and taking them to rival OpenAI. Musk company said in a complaint filed Thursday in federal court that Zhou Li stole confidential information related to cutting-edge AI technologies with features superior to those offered by ChatGPT to bring to his new job at OpenAI earlier this month. He's living in the U.S. right now, working in the U.S., but he's supposedly a resident of Canada. That's what they do. The Chinese sends their spies into Canada really easily, and then they can get into the U.S. from Canada. They become residents of Canada, and then they can get into the U.S. easier. Representatives from OpenAI and attorneys and spokesmen for XAI did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Friday. The complaint underscores the rivalry between Musk company and OpenAI and a fierce battle among tech companies for AI talent. Musk and OpenAI co-founder has separately sued the company and its CEO, Sam Altman, for allegedly deviating from its original mission to benefit humanity. OpenAI countersued Musk in April for harassment. Musk's XAI filed another lawsuit against OpenAI and Apple in Texas on Monday for allegedly monopolizing the market for AI chatbots on Apple devices. The new lawsuit said Lee began working as an engineer for XAI last year, where he helped train and develop Grok. The company says Lee took its trade secrets in July, shortly after accepting a job from OpenAI. And he also sold his $7 million in stock in XAI stock, so that might be a crime too. Musk startup said that the secrets could allow OpenAI to bolster ChatGPT with XAI's more innovative AI and imaginative features. The lawsuit said Lee, or Lai, whatever his name is, Lai or Lee, I'm not sure, probably Lai, admitted to stealing company files and covering his tracks during a meeting on August 14th when the company later found additional stolen materials on his devices that he had not disclosed. Musk's company asked the court for an unspecified amount of monetary damages and a restraining order blocking Lai's move to OpenAI. I don't know. I'm not sure because LEE is Lee, but I think LI might be Lai, or it could be Lee too. I don't know. Musk XAI filed another lawsuit against OpenAI and Apple in Texas for allegedly monopolizing AI chatbots. But this doesn't look. He sued a former engineer at the company for allegedly stealing trade secrets. Well, he did steal them, trade secrets. Oh. Okay, well, I guess that's it. That won't let me show anymore. All right, so that's the end of that story. On to the next story. CNN is disgraceful propaganda arm for radical sanctuary policy politicians. Yeah, something wrong, we too low, and it bang zing pow or something like that. These headlines directly contribute to the increase, 1,000% increase in assaults against our brave ICE law enforcement. Definitely, we need office space. Bing ding ow, bang ding ow. Yeah, that's right. We need office space. Okay. Well, what do you know, folks? We are almost 3 hours in. We got 17 minutes left. 17 minutes left for the goal to see if we go another extra hour. And we are currently at $65 away from the additional second hour, right? Is that right? Is that right? Holy fook. Yeah. Here are the facts on these illegal aliens. A volunteer firefighter, a beloved pastor, and a prominent journalist. These are the community pillars being detained by ICE. Of course, those are all lies. Milton Giovanni Gumarja Larja is a criminal legal alien from Ecuador. His criminal history includes 3 DUIs, 3 DWIs. This serial drunk driver is a public safety threat to innocent Americans. Accusations that Mario Guevara was arrested by ICE because he's a journalist are completely false. Mario Guevara was arrested by DeKalb County, Georgia police for willful obstruction after he refused to comply with local police orders to move out of the middle of the street. Following his arrest by local authorities, ICE placed a detainer on him. Following his release, he was turned over to ICE custody and has been placed in removal proceedings. This El Salvador national is in ICE custody because he entered the country illegally in 2004. ICE officers arrested Daniel Omar Fuentes Español, an illegal alien from Honduras, during a targeted vehicle stop in Easton, Maryland. They approached Fuentes and clearly identified themselves. During questioning, he admitted to being in the country illegally. He overstayed his visa by more than 20 years. President Trump and Secretary Noem are committed to restoring the rule of law and common sense to our immigration system. We will continue to fight for the arrest, detention, and removal of illegal aliens who have no right to be in this country. Enforcing immigration law isn't optional. It's non-negotiable. ICE mandate is clear. Remove those who violate our laws regardless of their professions. The Laken Riley Act ensures detention for those charged with crimes like theft and assault. Media narratives framing enforcement as targeting community pillars ignore reality. Illegal entry has consequences. Oh, hold on one second. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who's brainwashing these people? I don't know. Sanctuary cities shield lawbreakers, putting ICE agents at risk. DHS isn't politicizing, it's upholding sovereignty. Every arrest under Trump's policies follows due process. Sympathy for violators undermines the rule of law. Enforcement protects Americans first. It's crazy, right? And then I have some stories of the local media talking about these people. So we'll just see how they're framing this stuff. Like ICE arrest makes 2 more detentions in Port Chester and Peekskill. Milton Guarava on the phone Friday morning. HSI. 2 recent detentions and apprehensions by ICE in Westchester County are different from the case that made news last week. The 5-day detention of Scarsdale High School graduate Yeon Sun Go. Sounds like that one should go home. Milton Guarava, a volunteer firefighter in Port Chester, was detained by ICE and is now in their custody in Michigan jail. Guamarga, 43, has lived in Port Chester for more than 20 years. His wife and children are raising funds for his legal defense. We're kindly reaching out. Unfortunately, the legal process ahead is overwhelming. Okay. Milton Guamarga was a marble installer in addition to his volunteer firefighter job. Most of the media coverage has been sympathetic to Guamarga's family in a situation. He was detained by ICE outside his home last week and transferred to a correction facility in Michigan. Has lived in the U.S. for over 20 years, working as a marble installer and volunteering with the local fire department for 7 years. He's undocumented and has an open deportation case since 2004. Gotta go. His family says he's been actively trying to attain citizenship for the past 2 years and was preparing to study IT in college. No, go home. You've been here 20 years illegally, working illegally for 20 years. He's not been paying taxes. He's not been paying into the system. How is a volunteer fire department hiring an illegal? Maybe that volunteer fire department needs a problem. Oh, it's a volunteer, so he doesn't get paid. Okay. Including the fire department mayor's office is rallying for his release. One local media outlet reached out to ICE to ask. And ICE is part of the Department of Homeland Security. And McLaughlin says that Guamariarga entered the U.S. illegally at an unknown time and place. She did not explain why. In 19 years since the judge's order, Guamariarga has not been previously deported. Yeah, he's been deported over 20 years ago. She said the government is currently holding him. The serial drunk driver is a public safety threat. Too many innocent lives have been lost at the hands of illegal aliens driving under the influence. Just this week, DHS highlighted the tragedies of Ricky Maddox, who was killed by an illegal alien driving under the influence in Louisiana, the death of a mom and her 11-year-old daughter in New Jersey by another illegal alien. We also received a response from ICE and DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin that on July 29, 2025, ICE arrested Milton Giovanni Guamarga Loja, a criminal illegal alien from Ecuador. His criminal history includes 3 WIs. His serial drunk driver is a public safety threat. Yeah, okay. They highlighted the tragedies and all the stuff. He's currently being held at Calhoun County Correction Center. Another instance with ICE in Peekskill drew significant interest. 24-year-old Amy Lituma. ICE agents followed Lituma and her 4-year-old son from her home in Peekskill to BJ's Wholesale Club. Latuma, an Ecuadorian illegal immigrant, claims the armed men forced her out of her vehicle. ICE agents showed her a photo of her partner, Wilmar Delgado, who they were seeking to detain. Latuma said she did not know where Delgado was. ICE allowed Latuma to return home and had her call Delgado, who told her, "Don't say anything." When given the option of being separated from her son or self-deporting, Latuma decided to return to Ecuador with her son, the anchor baby. A rally was held in Peekskill. Unmarked vehicles, unidentified officers, face covered with masks. State Senator Pete Harkman said, "This is terrifying our immigrant communities." Not only is they doing that, hold on a second. That guy's not wearing a mask. I knew he wasn't wearing a mask. They're liars. They're all liars. All liars. This guy's a liar. They weren't face covered with masks. You clearly see his face. Not only are they doing that, but it's breaking down years of trust and bridge building that our local police have done. You're building bridge with criminals. Stop it. Local police have worked hard to partner with our local illegal immigrant community, and it's destroying that fabric. You shouldn't have been. They said across the border, Lutuma says she crossed the border into the U.S. in July 2021 when her son was 8 months old and has been working as a housemaid. Well, then her son is not a U.S. citizen. Her son was 8 months old when she crossed over. Then her son's not a citizen. She hadn't applied for asylum, and she was due to depart for Ecuador on Tuesday and said she hoped to return to the U.S. with legal status someday. I'm not the only one. Many people are in the same situation. My request is not to break families apart. ICE does not separate family. Parents are asked if they want to be removed with their children, or ICE will place this children with safe person the parent designates, consistent with past administrations of immigration enforcement. Parents who are here illegally can take control of their departure with CBP Home App. The United States is offering illegal aliens $1,000 and a free flight to self-deport now. We encourage every person here illegally to take advantage of this offer, reserve the chance to come back to the U.S. and live the American dream the right way. And then this guy, Dan Levenberg, says, what we need is a process to make it legal for people to be here and not throw people in jail. Deporting people will make it hard. We have a system. It's called Come Legally. Fucking asshole. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's new interview just went viral, and he's not talking about tariffs or China. He's exposing a secret $50 million shadow agency inside the State Department that tried to silence Americans. And here's what you should know and how they tried to erase free speech. It all started innocently enough 10 to 15 years ago. State Department created a program to counter terrorist messaging from Al Qaeda and ISIS. What could go wrong with that? But here's where it gets disturbing.
Sharing for the American people, a very momentous day in the history of the State Department and the U.S. government in restoring free speech and America's role as the beacon of free speech. Something very historic transpired today. Could you tell the American people what that was?
Well, we ended government-sponsored censorship in the United States through the State Department. And let me explain how we get there. This started out, 10 years ago with this effort of let's go after the messaging that Al Qaeda and ISIS and others are putting to radicalize people. Who's going to be against that? That sounds normal. And then it was like in 2016, we had this foreign interference in our election. We need to start targeting some of that stuff.
Sharing for the American people, a very
After the 2016 election, the program's focus shifted to targeting foreign interference in elections. By 2020, it had morphed into something far more sinister, a government-funded operation targeting individual American voices.
By 2020, it had grown into this movement of actually going after individual American voices. And one of the ways that was being done wasn't just directly, because the guy that was running this thing, Stengel, was actually a guy that was out there saying, Donald Trump talks just like a Russian spy. He talks just like a terrorist. Right. And so do the people around him. But they were also taking money from this program and using it to fund these NGOs, these third-party groups who were supposed to be impartial. By 2020, it had grown into this.
The man running this operation, Richard Stengel, who publicly claimed Donald Trump talks just like a Russian spy, talks just like a terrorist, and so do the people around him. This wasn't just talk. They had a sophisticated system to silence opposition. Wait. Here's how the censorship machine worked. The State Department funded supposedly impartial NGOs with taxpayer money. These third-party groups then tagged American commentators and media outlets as foreign agents. But that was just the beginning. The consequences were real and devastating. These weren't just labels. They led to Americans getting deplatformed and silenced online. High-profile targets included Ben Shapiro and the Federalist. But countless everyday citizens were caught in the dragnet.
Those groups were then tagging. They were literally tagging and labeling voices in American politics, Ben Shapiro, the Federalist, others, tagging them as foreign agents. So you look at it and say, American taxpayers through the State Department were paying groups to attack Americans and to try to silence the voice of Americans. And there were consequences. These weren't just a label they put on people. Some of these people got deplatformed. They got taken down. They couldn't communicate. So it was outrageous. So before President Trump took over, they disbanded this unit. They just renamed it and moved it somewhere else. But now, over the last few months, we've worked on it and just taken it down. And to the extent we're spending money now, we are going to spend money on messaging. It's going to be pro-American messaging. And it's going to be incentivizing and protecting free speech, which is threatened in all over the world, including countries that are allies of ours. The best way to counter disinformation, if that's what people are thinking is out there, the best way to counter disinformation is free speech. Those groups were then.
Just when you think it couldn't get any more shocking, before Trump took office, they didn't shut down the unit. They simply renamed it and moved it elsewhere in the bureaucracy, a classic government shell game to avoid accountability. The most disturbing part, the American taxpayers were unknowingly funding this censorship apparatus. Your tax dollars are being used to silence fellow Americans for exercising their First Amendment rights. Yeah, I watched Robert Gouveia too. He did a great breakdown of the turn Marco up. Okay, I'll turn him up. He outlined birthright citizenship. Yeah, I think anyone who's here illegally or anyone who's here, it's not a permanent lawful resident of the United States, which means like anyone who's here that's not on a green card and they have children, those children are not U.S. citizens. Because until you have that green card, you're still subject to the jurisdiction of your other place. That's what Juan Kim Ark says. They're lawful permanent residents, which is a green card holder, Juan Kim Ark. So anybody that comes on a travel visa or a work visa or a visitor's visa, none of that counts. There's no such thing as birthright citizenship for them. Obviously, anyone who's illegally in the country does not have, it's not under the jurisdiction that, still has jurisdiction of someone else. So we had a whole bunch of people that shouldn't be citizens. Some of them are in Congress right now. Secretary Rubio's team has been quietly dismantling the system over the recent months. They're documenting what happens for two critical reasons. So the harm can prove that there were targets. So those harm can prove they were targeted to ensure it never happens again. Let me see. Okay, I'll turn them up a little more.
Yeah, so I think what we have to do now, and Darren will be big involved in that as well, is sort of document what happened. Because one thing is to say it in a broadcast like this.
What happened? How did that happen?
And labeling voices in American politics. Ben Shapiro, the federal. Yeah, so I think what we have to do now, and Darren will be big involved in that as well, is sort of document what happened. Because one thing is to say it in a broadcast like this. Another thing is to actually put it on paper. And there's two reasons to do it. The first is because I think people who were harmed deserve to know that and be able to prove that they were harmed. And then the other is to make sure it never happens again, right? So that 10 years from now, when someone has a brilliant idea like this again, not brilliant idea like this again, you can point to that and say, oh, this was done once before, and here's a reason why we don't. That's why accountability is important in these things, because it doesn't just provide justice, but it also prevents it from happening in the future. You have something you can point to at the same time and say, these are the kinds of things we want to stay away from.
But that's not the end of the story. We're now facing an even bigger threat from abroad. The European Union has become increasingly aggressive in censoring speech, including targeting Americans speaking about American issues. A concrete example, when Elon Musk hosted Donald Trump on X during the election season, EU officials threatened him with penalties. This was two non-EU citizens discussing American politics being threatened by foreign censors. The stakes couldn't be higher.
Implementing the EU Digital Services Act, which was threatened to be turned against Americans when Elon Musk famously had that X space with Donald Trump during the election season. So my question to you is there any insights that you can provide to the American people about how the State Department is going to go about once again restoring free speech in a world where we are facing foreign threats from the European Union and Brazil and other places to Americans' ability to talk?
Yeah, so the first thing, obviously, is our number one priority is Americans. So we don't want to see an American who happens to be living in London or happens to be living in Europe post something online about American politics or any politics, and all of a sudden they're facing ramifications over there, or they're denied entry, and something happens, oh, we're denying them into our country, or we're going to arrest them because they posted something while living overseas. So our number one interest is the impact it has on Americans.
Implementing the EU digital.
Here's what's even more concerning. The foreign censorship laws in place, like the EU, were partly shaped by the same ecosystem partners that were funded by the State Department. It created a global censorship machine that's still operating. EU Digital Service Act now threatens American with fines for speech that would be protected under our First Amendment. They've already threatened $1 billion fine against X for non-compliance with disinformation standards.
Just on the EU Digital Services Act, I'd feel remiss if I didn't mention that the EU commissioning body there threatened Elon Musk, a non-EU citizen, talking to Donald Trump,
a
non-EU citizen,
during the campaign in October,
and threatened them specifically not to talk about the unrest, the street protests in the UK at the time. The UK is no longer a member of the EU, so the EU was threatening, and today we're hearing they're threatening $1 billion in fines against X for non-compliance with disinformation. And we've seen the head of their commission target non-EU citizens talking to non-EU citizens about non-EU territories. And so this is just one of these things as this code becomes mandatory in July. to know that the State Department is focused on protecting free speech both within and without is I think an important thing.
Well, just beyond Elon, if a country or a group of countries, in the case of the EU, although it considers itself sort of a country because these countries have, given over a significant amount of sovereignty in order to become a member of the EU, when you have foreign entities taking actions that go after Americans for speech, that becomes a foreign policy irritant for the United States, and more than an irritant, it becomes an impediment in some cases to cooperate when they're going not just after a high-profile person like Elon, but anybody for that matter. I mean, I think if you extend this out, you could see it, threatening commentators, threatening people that are opining about world events.
Wow. In a stark shift from previous policy, Rubio has raised this issue directly with foreign leaders, including at a recent Oval Office meeting with the UK Prime Minister. The message: attacks on free speech, free expression undermine one of the core values that unite Western democracies.
And so I think we raised that. We've raised that. I mean, I can tell you, we were at an Oval Office meeting with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and this issue came up. So this has been raised. It becomes part of our diplomatic situation that we raise when we interact with foreign interlocutors. I think what's troubling is we understand, like, that's always going to be an issue when you certain countries around the world, but when you're dealing with Western European allies, and that's who you're talking to about this stuff, it really tells you how far it's gone and how big a problem it is. So that's a new thing for us to have to raise in those capitals, but we do it, and we do it everywhere. And I personally witnessed the president and the vice president raise it with multiple foreign leaders. And I think you're going to continue to see an emphasis on that in our diplomacy and what we talk about. And
the State Department is now refocusing on pro-American messaging and protecting free speech globally, a complete reversal from the previous censorship apparatus. From the previous censorship approach that targeted Americans. What's the lesson here? As Rubio put it, sometimes some ideas that starts out as innocuous, or maybe even good intentions can metastasize and become a weapon that can be turned into something else by someone else.
And, it's also a very important lesson here. If I take you back 15 years and I ask somebody, do you think we should be doing more to make sure ISIS and Al-Qaeda are not radicalizing people online? 15 years ago, we would have said, yeah, of course. But look what that turned into. And I'm not saying I'm obviously we don't want ISIS radicalizing everybody, but you have to understand that sometimes some idea that starts out as innocuous or maybe even good intention, whatever, can metastasize, becomes a weapon that can be turned into something else by someone else. That's a valuable lesson here. And everything we do, you have to understand that when you create something, what you created and what it turns into are not necessarily the same thing, especially when the people in charge change.
A Frankensteinian monster that takes
right.
on a life of its own. So then that is to say you can commit to the American public now that there will be a transparency effort to actually.
Yeah, that's already started. Because I think as part of justifying doing all this, we had to document this, right? So now I think there's more in depth, and we'll create a process for people at sort of point. We already know some of the higher profile ones, but there are more than a higher profile ones, right? There are a lot of other, including everyday individual American citizens who suddenly were labeled.
Suddenly were labeled what? What were they labeled? I hope you found this thread helpful. So I did. I thought it was pretty helpful. Amazing one. Mm-hmm. Wait, was I? So you got President Trump issued a statement today. I use the White House, the most beautiful marble and stone available anywhere. Surfaces are very important to me as a builder. As everyone knows, I've built many great buildings and other things over the years. And I'm very proud of the beautiful stonework we did in the Rose Garden. In this case, they used limestone, plus the garden was complete and far more beautiful than anyone thought. And then he noticed a huge gap in the limestone that extended more than 25 yards. It was deep and nasty. He started yelling, "Who did this? Who did this? He wants it fixed now. Was it vandalism or was it something else?" And he noticed it was some stupidly done by a contractor who dragged a cart and broke it and tilting it, and it rubbed against the soft, beautiful stone. And he says he loves workers and everything, but this was just dumb. And this contractor is never going to be allowed to work at the White House again. But luckily, we had this beautiful video equipment that caught the whole thing. They caught the surveillance. The guys. That's nuts, right? Oh, I'm just dragging the stuff, getting all stupid. So, yeah, so Trump's pissed about that. Just in, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon is now taking action against companies for H-1B visa discrimination against American workers. Huge development. This is a massive issue. Companies can't be allowed to abuse the system for cheap labor over Americans. We've had several open investigations and have already taken action against some of these employers already. Thank you, Harmeet Dillon. She's doing the work, man. She's putting in the work. Finally, accountability. The DOJ's crackdown on H-1B discrimination is long overdue. Companies like Epic Solutions prioritizing cheap labor over American workers for years, exploiting visa loopholes while taxpayers footed the bill. This $71,000 penalty is a start, but real reform means dismantling the entire system rigged against U.S. labor. Every job stolen by corporate greed weakens our economy and rewards globalist outsourcing. Dillon's axis exposed to rot. Bureaucrats enabled this fraud for decades through lax enforcement and revolving door policies. Now watch as the swamp panics, as accountability starts to bite. Harmeet says, our Justice Department is committed to protecting Americans against predatory and illegal visa practices. Civil rights leads the way. Click and follow the link below. Civil Rights Division reports unfair visa-related practices. That's right. Finally, accountability. DOJ's crackdown is long overdue. Companies like, we already read this one. The hell, why did this get put in there twice? Dillon says, are you an American citizen who's been harmed by inappropriate preferences for foreign workers, e.g., H-1B and other? Follow the link. It's also a place to report human trafficking of immigrant workers and Title VII employment discrimination. And she says, this is troubling. America versus oil giant Shell USA allegedly ousted all the white employees from its corporate security team in Houston, replacing them with less qualified people of color in what amounted to a discriminatory purge. According to a bombshell lawsuit, Shell fired white staffers at Houston offices for weaker diversity hires and discriminatory purge. That's crazy. Immigrant and employee rights, reporting unfair visa-related employment practices, where to report discrimination, and then you can also submit tips about employers that prefer visa workers on seasonal visas, such as H-2A and H-2B visas. And they also want people to report H-1B visa violations, prefer temporary workers over U.S. workers through their use of permanent labor certification process, the PERM labor certification process. Employers generally cannot treat individuals differently in hiring, firing, recruitment, or referral for a fee based on citizenship status or national origins. So yeah, they're getting stuff and they're going to get at it. Here's the story. Shell fired white staffers at Houston offices for weaker, diverse hires and discriminatory purge. Oil giant Shell USA allegedly ousted all white employees from its corporate security team in Houston, replacing them with less qualified people of color in what amounted to a discriminatory purge, according to a bombshell lawsuit. Kevin Taylor, a Gulf War veteran, and Gulf War veteran Michelle Romack, who are both white, claim they were booted from their jobs earlier this year despite having more than a decade of relevant experience at Shell, according to the lawsuit filed in the U.S. Southern District of Texas. They are suing Shell and Wayne Hunt, the regional security manager, alleging they participated in a discriminatory restructuring under DEI mandates that violate civil rights laws. Shell did not respond to the post request for comment. In January, Hunt announced an upcoming reorganization and required all the white employees on the team to reapply for their current roles, though non-white team members were not required to submit applications according to the lawsuits. Well, if that's what they did, they're fucked, because you can't do that. Yeah, Lisa Cook, look at standing up for the Federal Reserve, is a ploy to turn a blind eye from a mortgage scandal. At the time, Hunt told Taylor that he had to resubmit for his current job because others had expressed interest, and Shell was looking to diversify the talent. Well, that's illegal right there. That statement alone is enough for a lawsuit. High-level security roles were then given to a Hispanic woman who had a background as an administrative assistant and a black man with no background in protecting people or assets. The Hispanic contractor for Shell, whose contract had previously been in the process of being terminated for poor performance, also won a role on the team, along with a Hispanic woman without U.S. citizenship. When it was revealed that she was ineligible due to her citizenship, the woman was given a high-level role at Shell in Mexico, according to the complaint. The lawsuit alleges Shell of maintaining illegal racial hiring and promoting quotas in the U.S., despite actions taken by the Trump administration to squash DEI programs. On its website, the oil company boasts that it's working to become one of the most diverse and inclusive organizations in the world. Oh, great. So now that means that their refineries are going to start bursting into flames from the people that don't know what they're doing working. Yeah. It's a global council for race consistent of senior executives. Wow. Aims to advance diversity in our workforce. Taylor was stripped of his role and forced to relocate to the East Coast, while Womack and Thomas Hoot, white man and U.S. veteran who worked at Shell for 15 years, were fired, to suit claims. Hunt says who managed the security team appeared to mock Romack and Hunt's firing, giving them each a tear jar, according to the lawsuit. Yeah, they're going to have problems. This is evidence of conduct that is callous, willful, and wantonness. And the federal government should be coming in on this then. It became clear that they promoted employees that had objectively weaker qualifications, with at least one asking Taylor for help with their new job. Taylor was ousted from his role in Houston, where he was replaced with Ana Chavez, a Hispanic woman, and relocated to senior advisor position in the East region, which had been his third of 4 choices. But Taylor is repeatedly asked to complete tasks belonging to Chavez, like guarding the CEO, because it was well known that she was not competent to fulfill those duties. Taylor was passed over for his second choice position in the West region, which went to Hector Arazo, a Hispanic man and contractor for Shell. Hunt, who had supervised Taylor and Romack before he was fired, said both were more qualified than Arazo, whose contract he had been in the process of terminating for poor performance. Since taking the role in August, Arazo has asked for Taylor's help, claimed he was never completed a security assessment or security plan for executive protection, even admitting that he's never seen one. The Post was unable to reach Chavez or Arazo for comment. What our clients experiencing should alarm every American. American First Legal, which filed the suit. If a corporation can openly discriminate against employees because of the color of their skin under the guise of DEI, then no one's rights are safe. Taylor and Romack are seeking unspecified compensatory and punitive damages. Breaking Wisconsin news story. Breaking Wisconsin Democrats are furious after Vice President J.D. Vance had his motorcade moved one street over, causing protesters to rush to the other road and forcing them to get more exercise than they had had in years. Another video that X is not playing? What is going on, X? I'm starting to get pissed, man. This is really fucking up my show with these videos that won't play. This is really starting to piss me off. J.D. Vance making America healthy again is the funniest thing in years. Well, I don't know. Another Democrat member has called for people to rise up against the federal government and analogize the conduct of ICE to the SS and Gestapo. Connecticut Rep. John Larson's comments come at a time where there's been an 830% surge in assaults on federal agents. ICE stops human traffickers. The SS made people in the lampshades. If Larson can't tell the difference, he should resign. Breaking just one day after announcing deployment of thousands of CHP agents to major cities around California to combat crime, government news has announced the deployment of a new safe task force to clear homeless encampments across California. California is taking action. Yeah, sure they are. Yeah, Jonathan Turley is a leftist, not a leftist, but he's a liberal who's a very conscientious of the Constitution. Zero difference between this demonry and the mockery of Christ on the cross. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now. If he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. Yeah, and then here's this guy, Maxwell Frost. This is a Florida congressman. So anybody in Florida that's in Orlando area where this guy is the representative, you need to get a different congressman. This guy sucks. These children were probably praying when they were shot to death at a Catholic school. Don't give us your effing thoughts and prayers. Trump got rid of the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. Trump gutted the resources that were in place to keep our communities safe. It's a lie. The communities didn't do shit. None of that stuff. No. And these are the freaks who told us if we stayed 6 feet apart from one another, no one would catch a contagious virus. More reservations, please. Is this, yeah. Breaking now, CDC staff members are greeted by supporters as they stage a walkout at their headquarters in Atlanta in protest against the damage being done by the agency by conspiracy theorist RFK Jr. Huh. This guy shaking people's hands with the bald head is a satanic person. This guy right here is a Satanist that's into all types of BDSM and other shit. I have the story. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Might want the monkeypox vaccine before you shake that dude's hands. More walkouts, please. In fact, everyone should quit and the buildings should be shuttered. Hold on. Here's the story about that guy. All right. Patrick Seven sent this to me. Says, have you covered the self-admitted Satanist weirdo that resigned from the CDC? Here's the guy right here that they're clapping for and everything with the bald head. Okay. So this is the weirdo with this person with the dog mask on and everything. All right. Mm-hmm. And this guy goes, here's my resignation. This is the picture of the man resigning from the CDC. He's wearing a BDSM attire with his pentagram, a satanic symbol on his chest. He hates Trump and RFK. These are the kinds of freaks who used to oversee public health in this country. I mean, look at this. This is who it is, man. This is the public health officials. And here's some more pics. In the one where he's posing as a man dressed as a dog, you can see the inverted pentagram tattooed on his upper chest. Yeah. Total weirdo. It's not whether this guy is a Satanist per se, but his lack of judgment posting his too much information hobbies on social media as if he's aspiring for a role in 50 Shades of Grey. He was director of National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases at the CDC. I'm seeing a lot of this a lot among people who have a deep need for attention, overexposure. It was a hiring manager. It makes me question whether someone has good judgment in a senior role. Yeah. So here's this post from, says some people are still disputing that the symbolism here is satanic. So let me post one last set of images from our high-ranking he/him CDC official. He/him CDC guy is literally obsessed with Satan. Look at this. Wearing a satanic stuff. They're like literally Satanists. This is who was supposed to oversee our health? Yeah. Yeah. If you're aligned with evil worshiping Satan, it makes sense. Why would anyone want to worship Satan over God? I don't know. Yeah, thanks. You know. So here's this guy's statement that resigned. Supposedly. I thought he got fired, but I guess he resigned. My resignation letter, Dr. Hoorie, I'm writing to formally resign my position. I'm happy to stay on for 2 weeks to provide a transition if requested. Enough is, it says, Robert Kennedy Jr., I find the views of him and his staff have shared challenge my ability to continue my current role. Enough is enough. While I hold immense respect for the institution, I believe it's imperative to align my professional responsibilities with my system of ethics and my understanding of science. And I'll be able to serve an environment that treats the CDC as a tool to generate policies and materials that I do not reflect scientific reality. Yes, this guy goes on, he goes, I've never experienced such radical non-transparency. He, him, yeah. Tenable to serve in an organization that's not afforded the opportunity to discuss decisions of scientific and public health importance released under a moniker of CDC. Fire every one of them. Recent term of reference is COVID vaccine work group created by ICAP put out dubious intent. And so this guy was part of this that put out the COVID stuff. Fuck him. He's got to go. So, yeah. So slutty doctor Dimitar Daskalaiskis, whatever the fuck his name is. He's Greek, so he takes it up the ass. As director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases. Back in September 2023, Joe Biden announced a new team to lead the White House's national monkeypox response. He named the guy that would have that would get monkeypox to lead the organization against it. What do you know? Huh. On Wednesday, he turned in his resignation. His resignation came hours after news broke that Director Susan Monarez was ousted. The resignation comes on the same day that Secretary Kennedy announced a slew of changes to limit access to the COVID vaccine. Oh, good. On Wednesday, they officially rescinded the emergency use authorization for the COVID vaccine and authorizations that were used to justify medical mandates, lockdowns, and mass coercion under Biden's failed regime. I promise for things to end vaccine mandates, keep vaccines available to people who want them, and the emergency. FDA has now issued marketing authorization for a higher risk, Moderna 6 months, 6+, 5+, Novartis, yeah. Yeah, this guy, whatever, man. The monkeypox czar. Well, that's because he had the monkeypox. Yeah, it's something people always say, like, oh, he must have been Greek. But I am writing to the formally resign. They did that Greco-Roman wrestling. They were naked. Why would they be wrestling naked? That seems weird. Decision has not come easily. Oh, here's his letter. We're not reading it. Blah 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 blah. God, man, this guy just wouldn't shut up. Man, how long of a letter does this guy write? Well, yeah, so he's gone. CDC official includes pregnant people terminology and pronouns in resignation letter. So this is a guy that was at the CDC talking about pregnant people. There's no such thing as pregnant people. It's pregnant women. It's the only people that get pregnant are women. Well, let's see. Is this actually going to be about the CDC?
If we had another pandemic, would we do the same thing? Would it be completely different? No. How would it be different?
We do science. We do evidence-based medicine. CDC knew how to do this, and WHO, they knew there were manuals on how to do it, but they just threw those manuals out of the window. We're going to do peer-reviewed, we're going to do placebo-controlled studies on all new medications and all new technologies. That's what we should have been doing all along.
That was the Health and Human Services Secretary back in May. Now, tonight, right before this show, the CDC director is no longer there, Susan Monarez. And the HHS secretary back in March defended her at that time his nominee, saying ex posts that erroneously attribute Biden-era tweets supporting masks, lockdowns, vaccine mandates, etc., to my CDC Gov director nominee Susan Moneras have understandably provoked agita within the MAHA movement. I handpicked Susan for this job because she is a longtime champion of MAHA values and a caring, compassionate, brilliant microbiologist and a tech wizard who will reorient CDC toward public health and gold standard science. I'm so grateful to President Trump for making this appointment. Only a month in, she is now out, and that's not all. As the show has gone on, we've heard of more resignations. The National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, that head, if we can put his picture up. Also, the CDC medical officer has resigned at this hour, and the head of zoonotic division also resigning from CDC. So it is happening, and we're getting wire reports right now during the show saying that some of them are citing overstatement of risks of vaccines and the CDC budget cuts in resignation letters that are coming out. Let's bring in our panel. Tom Bevan, Real Clear Politics co-founder and president. Josh Kraushaar is a Fox News radio political analyst. And Yemisi Egbewale is a former chief of staff and advisor to the Biden White House press office. Tom, this seems like a clear out based on policy and maybe money.
Yeah, and there are rumors that there might be more coming, more resignations coming. And so, look, the other thing that happened, the FDA announced today their approval for vaccines, the guidelines, which then have to be, I guess, handled by the CDC as well. And so it clearly seems like there is a conflict within the CDC with the upper echelons there about what to do about the vaccines. The other thing that I would point out is Susan Moneras in her confirmation hearing not too long ago said she didn't see that there was any sort of link between vaccines and autism, which is something that might put her at odds with the HHS.
Yeah, I mean, just yesterday we heard at the cabinet meeting, Josh, that HHS Secretary Kennedy said that they were going to come out with a big report in September about the linkages and causation of autism.
Yeah, look, the HHS has been one of the most tumultuous agencies, in part because Robert F. Kennedy, his MAHA movement, is politically incompatible with a lot of the civil servants who work at CDC. And you can see that the issue over approval of the coronavirus vaccine for kids has become another flashpoint in this debate. The Washington Post is reporting that Montanez went to Senator Cassidy, who has been something of a skeptic of Kennedy and was trying to hold his feet to the fire during Kennedy's confirmation hearing. And Kennedy was very upset that she kind of did an end around his leadership. So that may be a political issue going forward. But look, MAHA and the civil servants that work at the CDC are not always aligned on policy. And this is coming out in the open right now.
I mean, we've seen fights like this before in different administrations. This is only a month into this CDC director in this job.
Yeah, and this is a huge hit to the secretary's leadership capabilities. I mean, he had an incredibly tough confirmation hearing, and we know that senators on both sides of the aisles have serious doubt on his leadership capabilities. And so this is a time where he's going to really have to steer the agencies that HHS oversees. I mean, we know there was a shooting outside of CDC just earlier this month. Morale is at an all-time low, and so he's really going to have to find some good direction here.
All right, let's talk about the takeover in Washington, D.C., the potential takeover in other places. Here's Mayor Bowser, surprising comments perhaps on what's happening here.
We greatly appreciate.
Oh yeah, I actually have this story later, which I don't think I'm going to get to tonight because it's already almost on 4 hours. So, oh, shut up, please. Talking to me? Okay, I'll shut up. Sorry, Gilly, I'll shut up. But we'll play this about Mayor Bowser, and then I'll read the story because she's actually saying some really nice things about the Trump administration.
The surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. What we know is not working is a break in trust between police and community, especially with new federal partners in our community. We know having masked ICE agents in the community has not worked.
What?
Okay, but let's listen to some residents here.
Navy Yard has kind of been a hot area before all the additional security. It was a little dicey at times, especially at the later times in the hour. I would see fights break out whenever I was just walking home, but now it's a lot more quiet.
I welcome it. I think it's a great idea.
And I have noticed that they have been cleaning some of the graffiti off in some of the areas, like on the highways and that kind of stuff.
What about the fallout of all this, huh?
That's weird that Fox. That's weird that Fox only talks to the white people, but then I saw a bunch of interviews with other people. The Centers for Disease official who posted a resignation letter on social media used the term pregnant people and capped off his missive by including he, his, him pronouns and after his name. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so this clown, he can go week over week growth rate on monkeypox. Yeah, well, for decades I've been, yeah, okay, trusted as the voice for the LGBT community when it comes to critical health topics. Well, no one uses pregnant people should work at the CDC. This isn't hard. Santis wrote, example of how trusting the science really means following the political science and perpetrating the prevailing narrative. Embracing evidence-based medicine should be the bare minimum for working at the CDC. Yeah. I wouldn't trust that guy for nothing. I'm unable to serve. Yeah, so. Well, that's that. Well, it's been 3 hours and 40 minutes. So you guys got an extra 40 minutes of show out of me for free tonight. So I hope you're happy. I'm just teasing everyone. But I'm going to call it a night. It's almost 2 a.m. here. And I'll see you all Sunday night where Jim will tell you the news.